Braves are back at Bourne Park to finish off this 3-game set with the Hyannis Harbor Hawks. Welcome into a For the Bravos camera edition. I'm Calvin Cristoforo with Nick Galley. We look handsome because the camera's back. And I want to start the show today by, getting this out of the way because it's going to be a painful moment for me right now.
Okay.
So I want to get it away off the top. I gotta give you some credit. I gotta give the Nick Galley some credit.
I don't know what I did. I don't even know what I did.
I got to I gotta suck it up, and you were right. You were right. So I'm gonna say it right off the top here. Max Anderson starting at first base tonight, and all the credit I give to you, my friend Nick Galley.
It's the little things that you got to realize, It's the little things. You pick out, and, you get here, you scope out the field a little bit. So, what can I say, man? That's why they pay me the big bucks here.
And no one's paying you anything.
No one is paying me anything.
It's really painful, but I'm glad we got that out of the way. We'll get to the lineup, as we always do, later in the program. But let's start off tonight by recapping last night like we usually do. The Braves bat silenced, really, for 7 innings, and then get all 5 runs in a 5-1 W in the 8th to top the Hawks by that 4-run margin. What did you see out of that 8th inning? Obviously, Braylon Wimmer and Caden Wallace back-to-back clutch hits. But what did you see in that inning, and what does that another comeback for the Braves say about the resiliency of this bunch?
I think I'll word it as field manager Harvey Shapiro words it, and it's really all about the pitching. I mean, it is because Bourne came out last night, and for the first 5 innings of that game, they were completely shut down.
Yep. Completely
shut down. The bullpen comes in for Hyannis, and Bourne starts to get a little bit going, but really doesn't get anything, and in the 8th inning, they just break through. And we saw that last night. We saw that on opening night, too. And last night, it was very prevalent, obviously. I mean, it just a complete collapse by the Harbor Hawks. But it just comes down to pitching. They could not figure out the starter last night. Yeah, nasty stuff. Really reminded me of Michael Sansone, a lefty who just is kind of crafty, not a big guy either, but just works the zone, gets hitters confused, has a nice off-speed pitch / changeup, and that's really what it comes down to. And credit to Jake Bennett and Cole Chudoba as well for holding Hyannis to just 1 run until the Bourne offense could really get things going. And I asked Jake about that last night. When you're not getting run support, how do you keep your cool? Because a lot of times these starting pitchers on Bourne have had run support. And Jake just said, you just hang in there, you pitch to contact, you let your defense work behind you. That's what he did. And Bourne's offense eventually came through. Turned out to be a great game for the Braves.
And not only was the pitching performance big because it kept the Braves in the game, it also gave the bullpen a day of rest, which they so desperately needed. The night before, Eric Adler had to come in and get his 4th save of the season. Xavier Lovett had to be used. So the back end of that bullpen got a day of rest. Everyone out there, in the back end, I'm talking Lovett, I'm talking Adler, I'm talking Cade Smith. They all should be available today after not pitching yesterday because Bennett went 5, and then Cole Chudoba went the rest of the way, went 4. Only got 2 strikeouts, but another guy who induced a lot of weak contact. The pitching was great, like you mentioned. The offense hung in there. And the game really seemed like, it was slipping through Hyannis' hands. I believe the Braves, it was the 6th inning where they had the bases loaded with 2 outs.
Something like that.
Yeah, and the Braves,
middle of the game.
Yeah, and the Braves couldn't score. It seemed like Hyannis escaped that time. But when the Braves got the bases loaded, and the difference was it was with 1 out instead of 2, like it was a couple innings back, you figured that was when the Braves would get that one big hit that they needed. Braylon Wimmer got it. Caden Wallace followed up with another knock. And before you knew it, there was 5 Braves runs on the scoreboard. And then that was game for there because Hyannis is not going to score, 4 runs in 2 innings. I mean, they could.
They might not score 4 and 9, Calvin.
Yeah, exactly. So the Harbor Hawks have scored 3 runs in 18 innings against the Braves. They'll look to bounce back tonight to try to avoid their 17th loss of the season. Hyannis coming into tonight's game at 2-16 on the year. The Braves are the completely other side of the spectrum. They're at 13-2-3, an excellent start for the Bravos. Look to keep it going today, and they're giving the ball on the mound to Ken Turner, a guy who we really haven't seen extended innings from. His longest performance was 2 1/3 innings of work, getting his first start of the night with Andrew Taylor, now released from the program, shut down for the summer. So what do you expect to see out of Ken Turner, and can he give you 4 innings tonight?
I think Ken Turner, I'm expecting more so 3 innings from Ken Turner.
I'm in the same boat
as you.
A
strong 3. Maybe they'll stretch him 4. That's if he's in the zone and if his pitch count's pretty low, I think. But I'd say for the first start, go 3 innings with Ken Turner, and then see how he does. And then if we see him start again down the road, that's when you hit him with the four inning go. But Ken Turner in 2 1/3 looked good. That's, pretty dang close to 3. So I think Harvey Shapiro can get 3 innings out of Ken Turner tonight at least. And I think 3 is probably the play. I'd like to see like a 3-3, 2-1 tonight.
That's another reason why the bullpen not being used last night is so critical for tonight. Ken Turner also tossed a scoreless innings, and it also tossed 1 scoreless inning on Sunday against Chatham. But if Ken Turner only goes 3, what do you expect the bullpen to look like tonight?
A little bit unique. I think we'll probably see Hyannis, I'd imagine. I don't know, because he's usually been like a 1-inning guy, too, 1-2 innings.
Yep.
Obviously, he throws real hard. You might be able to stretch Hyannis, too. I'm a little questionable about who that middle relief role is going to be tonight.
Because we were assuming that Tristan Vreeling is unavailable.
Assuming so. So, he might pitch. When did he throw last?
He threw on Saturday. Against YD. And today is Wednesday, so that'd be giving him 3 days of rest, which...
He went 3 or 4 Saturday?
Yeah, he went 4.
4, yeah, so...
I wouldn't assume he's available.
Yeah, I mean, it's you might have to put guys a little shorter tonight, maybe even like a 3. You want to get 4 out of Turner.
How about getting off the board here? Is Hunter Omlet available?
He didn't go much. Yeah, I don't think, because usually after
start... Keep him in the starting rotation?
Yeah, usually after start we don't see guys switch up, but we've seen relievers go to starters. Have we seen a starter go to Van Loon?
Yep.
So, yeah, he might, Harvey Shapiro has really kept us guessing with the pitching.
Yeah.
So,
maybe tonight's the first night we see extended innings from Cade Smith, but he couldn't get through 1 full inning on Monday.
I'm thinking tonight 4 from Turner.
Oh, now it's up to 4.
Yeah, 4 from Turner,
okay.
2 from Hyannis.
You're trying to piece this together here. You had to extend Ken Turner to 4 after you were so confident.
4 from Turner, 4 from Turner, 2 from Hyannis, 2 from Lovett, 1 from Adler. And that depends on the score, too.
Yeah.
Keep in mind. I mean, it comes down to the score,
Yeah, and I think it comes down to how well Ken Turner pitches and what his stamina is at this point of the season after his longest appearance has been 2 1/3. He's only gone 1 inning in his other outing. So I think those are the 2 biggest factors. We'll see how Harvey Shapiro pieces it together, but luckily for the Braves, it's an off day tomorrow. So the bullpen is going to get some rest tomorrow, and then we expect on Saturday the same thing we saw on last Saturday. No, we expect on Friday what we saw on Saturday, I would assume, with Parsley getting the start, going to Tristan Vreeling, and then the back end of the bullpen coming in.
I really like that combo, too. So
yeah,
I
Austin
think
Parsley was getting his bullpen in today, which makes me believe with the off day tomorrow, he'll be getting the start on Friday
I would have to
against YD, and then Tristan Vreeling obviously would follow him up. But that's all speculation. We don't know who we're going to see on the mound for the Braves tonight. We do know number 25, the right-hander from Hartford, Ken Turner, will be getting the start. Let's go to the offense in the lineup, the defense behind Turner tonight, and it's a different look for this Braves lineup. Christian Knapczyk stays at the top of this Braves order. Joe Lampe is in the lineup. We'll get to him later, but it is Christian Knapczyk's leadoff spot for the 2nd straight night.
Yeah, I mean, Christian Knapczyk's done a really good job in the leadoff spot. Even last night when they had nothing cooking, he had a couple walks. I mean, he was one of the few guys getting on base, so you don't have to get hits in the leadoff spot. Just get on base. OBP. I know a lot of people like average, but OBP is what you got to look at for your leadoff hitter.
This guy watched Moneyball before.
I mean, I'm telling you, I'm like Billy Bean out here.
And
you want to look at OBP.
Another thing you're not going to see in the box score last night is Christian Knapczyk leading off the game last night. I think it was a 9 or 10 pitch at bat off the jump.
I think it was 11.
11 pitch at bat.
It was at least 10.
Yeah,
at least 10.
He ended up striking out, but first batter of the game, that is still a quality at bat, a quab, as the dugout likes to call it. Quality at bat.
Oh, that's nice. I like that.
A little insight,
I like
bring
that.
it up here. So
because you're standing right down there, we can't hear a lot of the time.
Yes, so you got
best sideline report in the league, right?
That's what they say, and I appreciate that, Nick. But
we're
that's
gonna do another handshake. That's 2 for today. That's 2.
I hyped you up with your stat. You
know.
hyped me up with the accolades. So I guess we're back to even.
There we go.
All right. So Christian Knapczyk leading off. The long story short, he's in the leadoff spot. He's back at shortstop. Max Anderson, we're getting back to the point here. Max Anderson, because with Colton Bender gone, right, the catcher position gets a little bit dicey. You got Peter Burns, who's been starting consistently every other day, and then Dalton Rushing, coming into last night, only had 1 start on the season at catcher. So Rushing was catching last night. You're not going to start Rushing back-to-back. It's Peter Burns' turn, but Max Anderson has been in the lineup, and it was Zach Agnos' spot to play third base. So now Harvey Shapiro is trying to juggle things. You can't take Rushing out of the lineup. You can't take Anderson out of the lineup. So Max Anderson moves from third to first, getting his first start of the Braves season over there on the right side of the infield.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. I think going to take some time to really look, defined at first base, obviously, because, I saw very limited work from him the other day. I don't know if there's been more work behind the scenes. I don't know. Maybe it was something they were working on at Nebraska, too, getting some work in there. He's obviously primarily a third baseman. We know that third and first combo is pretty common. So let's see how he does at first base. We know his offense is there. I'm more interested to see how he does defensively tonight.
Well, Harvey Shapiro has been not hesitant at all to switch Tanner Schobel and Christian Knapczyk at short and second on the season, so maybe the first and third will be the same idea. Max Anderson getting his first start over there. We'll see how he does at first base tonight. The guy behind him, Dalton Rushing, we mentioned him, was at first base on Monday, caught last night, gets the night off from defense, but like I mentioned, you can't take his bat out of the lineup. So he's DHing tonight, hitting third.
One of 3 leaders on this team in RBI, along with Braylon Wimmer, Caden Wallace. So Dalton Rushing.
I don't want to interrupt you, but I just said wow in the middle of that because Caden Wallace.
He's just
sparked. He hasn't been here.
Caught fire.
Braylon Wimmer and Dalton Rushing have been here all season, and Caden Wallace has already caught up to them in RBIs.
Caught fire. And you have, we'll get in the lineup, I know, but between the 3, 4, and 5 spots tonight, that's 30 RBI. That's pretty good. You're 3 leaders. There's a wasp flying behind us, so if one of us gets stung, you'll see that on live. But that's pretty good. That's a pretty good meat of the order right there.
Just quick wasp story here. It's what we mentioned. You brought it up. First day of 5th grade, I moved to a new school. Yeah,
okay.
We're taking pictures outside. Picture day, first day, new school, new kid. I got stung in the lip. By a wasp. And I had to take
did you have that Kylie Jenner lip going? Massive.
I had to take my school picture at a new school. First picture, 5th grade, with the big wasp sting in my lip.
My goodness. You just shared your childhood trauma.
I did. All right. Well, let's get back to the point here. I cut you off about the Braves. I cut you off about Dalton Rushing. I'm not going to cut you off about Braylon Wimmer. He's in left field hitting 4th.
This is a personal opinion, but I think it could be stated as a fact. Braylon Wimmer's been the most clutch hitter on this team. And last night we saw it. Opening night we saw it. We saw it in that game where they were down 1-0, who the opponent is past my mind now because this season is every day, and every game is merging into one. But
the Chatham game?
The Chatham game.
Yes.
Bottom 9, down 1-0. Braylon Wimmer, RBI base hit with 2 outs. This guy's just clutch. I mean, he's been fantastic. Yeah. And, I mean, he's not I don't know what the word, not a real expressive guy. He's just low-key, and he goes out there, and he comes up in the clutch. And I think that's kind of like the ice in the veins mentality. And it's been really nice to see from Braylon Wimmer. And he very quietly does big things. And I think that's what Harvey Shapiro really likes about him. That's why we're seeing him in the cleanup spot tonight.
Yeah, he's hitting 4th. Caden Wallace is hitting 5th, just like they were last night. And the player of the game, who gets an interview at the end of the game, my goal has been complete because the players now believe that to be a prestigious award, get that interview with the player of the game. So Braylon Wimmer last night, gets the 2 RBIs, gives the Braves a lead. But then Caden Wallace, who's sitting behind him again tonight, gets a double and 2 RBIs. Braylon Wimmer comes back in the dugout after scoring and said, Caden just took player of the game away from me, didn't he?
Yeah.
And so that's something else to look at tonight when those guys hitting 4 and 5. Caden Wallace got the 2 hits last night. Same amount of RBIs, but Caden Wallace had the 2 hits, so he's hitting 5th and back in right field.
Well, Caden Wallace enters today on a 5-game hit streak, 7 for his last 21, batting .333. Again, I was OBP at the beginning of the order. Now I'm creeping down into average. Now I'm creeping down back into average and RBIs. 10 RBI, a guy that showed up late to Bourne. That just says all you need to know about what Caden Wallace has been doing out here. And it's what we expected, so it's great to see.
He's been so good. And another guy, who's starting to get hot a little bit, Nick Goodwin. He didn't have his best game last night. He's back in the lineup, back in the field. He's playing second base, hitting 6th. But it just seems like when he hits the ball on a line, which he does a lot, they usually drop down for base hits.
No doubt. And I mean, Nick Goodwin, what we have to keep in mind, he's still very young. He's one of the younger guys on this team. So there's been some inconsistency this year, but that's going to develop. The consistency is going to develop as he gets older and older, as he moves up through Kansas State's program, as he gets more reps. Out here, it's a great experience for him. I mean, he's kind of ahead of the 8 ball right now, playing on the Cape at such a young age, such an early time in his career. So Nick Goodwin, as a young player, I like what I've seen from him so far. The only thing he really needs to do as a ball player is just, get a little bit more consistent. But we're starting to see that a little bit, and that's one thing a lot of guys, especially his age, need to do out here is grow, and we've seen a lot of growth from Nick Goodwin, so it's certainly been a positive sign.
He's been a little bit up and down.
Yeah.
But when he's up very high.
Yeah, and the consistency will come. So.
Absolutely. So he's at second. Zach Agnos, we mentioned, he's back in the lineup with the defensive replacement in the bottom of the ninth inning last night against Hyannis, but he's back in the field in the starting lineup, hitting seventh at third base.
There you go. I can go on and on about Zach Agnos' defense, and I do it every time. And it's one of the things that you notice when he makes a great play, and you don't really notice with the routine plays, but there's a lot of plays that take funny hops over there at third that we've seen, and he's played them perfectly. So just stuff like that you might not know, especially when we're on the road and on the radio broadcast. But yeah, Zach Agnos, great defensively at third. His bat, another guy who's been up and down at times, but when he's going to the opposite field, I mean, there's very few guys on this team that go to the opposite field better than Zach Agnos does.
Yeah, he told me he catches a lot more barrels to the opposite field than the pull side. So look for Zach Agnos to try to go that way tonight as he's back at third base. Talked about the catcher situation a little bit. Peter Burns, it's his day to start, so he's starting, hitting eighth.
Yep. I can't hear over the lineup. Who's eighth?
Peter Burns.
Peter Burns, catching. Yes, thank you. I totally zoned out for a second. I'm not going to lie. I totally zoned out. But, yeah, Peter Burns, he has been working back there. And 2 nights ago when he got the start, I went up to him after the game. I said, listen, when I was playing high school ball, I was a catcher.
Here we go.
And I got to reminisce about my childhood days. But I was a catcher. And catching, it's one of those positions. If you have a bad game, everyone notices. If you have a great game, no one does, because you do what you're expected to do. You were a catcher, too.
Yeah, I'm not bragging about it.
Yeah, I'm not bragging.
Now you talk through the national anthem.
I did.
We're going to get the national anthem. We'll be right back with the conclusion. But before the Bravos, we'll get to the ninth here. We'll get to our picks to pop, all that on the other side. But for now, we're going to send it over to the national anthem. Beautiful rendition of the national anthem. As we quickly end our pregame show, we're going to go to Joe Lampe making his first start of the year at the 9 spot. We've seen him in the leadoff spot all season long, but he's hitting 9th tonight.
Yeah, I just want to finish on Peter Burns. Had a great game the other night. He was hustling, so I just wanted to mention to him.
Yes.
He had a great game.
Yes.
But Joe Lampe, I'll tell you right now, I'll include this. He's my pick to pop tonight. I was talking with him during BP. He said he's going to be back tonight. Had a weird call last night. He said it fired him up. He's good to go today.
Yes, he did. He came back to the dugout. It was a call where it was a full count. He thought it was a ball. He thought actually the umpire said the word ball. So he
was down to first when the umpire rung him up.
Yeah, he was down to first base, and yeah. So that call, he said he's fired up. He's ready to play today. He's in center field. He's hitting 9th. We'll see, what he can do at the bottom of the order, because it's kind of like Joe Lampe and Christian Knapczyk are batting 1-2 again. It's just that Christian Knapczyk is getting the one extra at bat.
I hate to say the second leadoff thing.
No, you can't say that.
But I mean, that kind of is a second leadoff, isn't it, Lampe Knapczyk?
No.
Come on.
It's a 1 hitter to 9 hitter.
Come on. Calvin. I don't know about that, man. That's the second leadoff.
I'm just saying, well, he's not the second leadoff. Like, he's a leadoff the second time around. You could say that. I mean, you could say that, but Christian Knapczyk's getting.
That is the epitome of a second leadoff hitter.
Christian
right
Knapczyk is getting an extra at bat. essentially what it is.
Essentially, yeah.
Yes, he's getting one extra at bat unless Joe Lampe makes the last out of the game. Then he won't be. So as the ceremonial first pitch is being tossed out here, let's get to our picks to pop.
Oh, I said Lampe.
You're going Lampe.
I'm going Lampe.
Okay.
100%.
That's right off the jump. You're going to make me thinking about my pick to pop. You know, KG and I, when I talked to assistant coach Kevin Graber before the game, he told me that, actually against Chatham, he said this Braves team is riding a wave right now. Why hop off the wave now? So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to ride the wave because why hop off of it now? I get Caden Wallace as my pick to pop for
I knew it.
Ride the wave.
He's riding the wave. Getting
Coach
the surfboard out. Getting the surfboard out.
We're just a minute or two away from first pitch between the Bourne Braves and the Hyannis Harbor Hawks as they finish up this 3-game set here at Doran Park. Reeves Jackson and Daniel Coates have the call in just a couple of minutes. Enjoy the game, everybody.
It is sunny with a chance of a sweep here tonight at Bourne as the Braves go for win number 14 and look to sweep the Hyannis Harbor Hawks right out of Doran Park. It is finally a beautiful night for baseball, something we have long awaited. And tonight, Daniel, a guy making his first start in Hartford righty, Ken Turner.
Yeah, Ken Turner, this is going to be his first start. We've seen him a couple of times, but how about this weather, Reeves? I have not been used to a warm day at Doran Park. There's a good crowd here, but Ken Turner will be taking the mound. It's a good time to experiment against a Hyannis Harbor Hawks team that has 2 wins on the entire season, and we already had their number in the first 2 games at McKeon Park.
We sure did. It is the leadoff hitter, the lefty stepping into the batter's box for the Harbor Hawks. It is a guy that has 3 hits against the Braves in the last 2 games. It is the right fielder, Clark Elliott, against righty Ken Turner. As you mentioned, his 5th game, his first start. And Ken Turner has yet to allow a run over 6 1/3 innings this season. Elliott steps in. Ken Turner ready to go. A first pitch fouled over the Braves dugout and into the fans just beyond the berm here at Doran Park. The Braves have taken care of the Harbor Hawks, a score of 6-3 on Monday night, and last night a big 5-run 8th inning down 1-0. They ended up taking that one 5-1. As the 0-1 is chopped foul. Elliott swinging early on. We'll tell you about the Braves defense here. Left to right, Braylon Wimmer, Joe Lampe back in the lineup. He's batting 9th tonight, though. Caden Wallace in right, 3rd to 1st, Zach Agnos, Christian Knapczyk, Nick Goodwin, and Max Anderson over at first base tonight. And Peter Burns behind the plate here for Ken Turner. 0-2. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. 3 pitches takes care of Elliott. And Daniel, a good start for the Braves here tonight.
A good start considering Clark Elliott is a .263 average batter and leads the team. He only has played in 6 games. That was his 20th at-bat, but a great start from Ken Turner just to get down Clark Elliott and move past the best batter in this lineup.
So with Elliott retired on strikes on 3 pitches, it is the guy who's been struggling against the Braves here in this 3-game set, the center fielder, Caden Rose. Rose is yet to get a base hit. He is 0 for 9 in the past 2 games against the Bravos. And in those games, Rose with 4 strikeouts. He cut through a nice breaking ball from Turner there, filling up the zone. 5 pitches, 5 strikes. And this one ripped over to third, but the sure-handed Zach Agnos handles the laser and tosses over to Anderson for the second out.
That was smooth as silk over there by Zach Agnos. We saw Max Anderson yesterday, Agnos at third. He actually took over for Anderson later in that game, but that was a smooth and sweet play over there at third.
It is nice to be back here at Doran Park. A big crowd again here on a Wednesday night. It is great to see the Doran faithful filing in to watch the first place, not just in the Western Division, but in the entire Cape League. The Bourne Braves 13-2-3. As Kyle Ball steps in. The rest of the lineup for Hyannis goes Zane Harris batting cleanup, Caleb Pendleton, who hit the home run on Monday night, batting fifth back in the lineup. Sixth is Luke Mann. Seventh, Ryan Romano. Eighth is Greer. Ninth, Mitchell Hardigan back in left field. Well, Daniel, it's a good sign early. Ken Turner is filling up the strike zone.
Yeah, he's just been throwing strikes, and something yesterday that Ben Etheridge did was he threw strikes and he relied on the defense behind him.
0-2, this is a slow chopper right to Christian Knapchak. He gobbles it up and tosses over to Max Anderson, and 1-2-3 go the Harbor Hawks in the top of the first. 9 pitches, about as easy as you can do it right there for Ken Turner. We head to the bottom of the first, and the Braves are coming up. Well, the Braves are back up here in the bottom of the first. We'll run through their lineup, but first, we'll let Daniel tell us about the Hyannis starting pitcher, Adrian Saravo.
Yeah, Adrian Saravo from Weatherford College, 248, 6'4", a big boy in blue here for the Hyannis Harbor Hawks. He has played in 3 separate games. He's 0-2 with a 2.79 average, or ERA, I should say. 3 of those games were started. 9.5 innings pitched, 7 strikeouts, 4 balls, 8 hits allowed. So he has been efficient. But again, it continues the trend of Harbor Hawks that have a hard time finding the zone.
Yeah, absolutely, indeed. Braves lineup tonight, they are led off by Christian Knapchak. He's playing shortstop. Batting second over at first is Max Anderson. Batting third, the designated hitter tonight, he was catching last night, it's Dalton Rushing. Batting fourth once again in the cleanup spot, he has been productive of late, the left fielder Braylon Wimmer. Batting fifth out and right is Caden Wallace. Batting sixth, the second baseman Nick Goodwin. Batting seventh, over at third, who made that nice play in the top half of the first, is Zach Agnos. Batting eighth and doing the catching is Peter Burns. And batting ninth, kind of a different position in the lineup that he's been in through the course of this first half of the season, is Joe Lampe. So Knapchak into the box. He's against the big righty. You mentioned almost 250 pounds of leverage coming at you in the form of Adrian Saravo. First pitch here to Christian Knapchak is a bunt that he foul tips, 0-1. Saravo in his starts has been pretty solid. He went 3 innings against Falmouth, allowed 3 hits, 1 run. They're all pretty similar. The loss to Wareham just got no run support. They got shut out. 3 2/3, 3 hits, 1 run. As a 0-1 misses away. And against Wareham, they lost 4-2, 3 innings, 2 hits, 1 run. Sound familiar? So Saravo has been excellent here on the season. He struck out 3 in his first 2 starts in each one, and then struck out 1 in his last outing. That was July 10th versus Wareham. So 2 starts against the Gatemen and a start against the Commodores. So all of his starts have been intra-division.
A funny little storyline here is Christian Knapczyk back at the top of the order.
Chops this one back to Saravo. He should have a nice play over to first and almost hit Knapczyk in the back, but caught over there by Harris for the first out.
Christian Knapczyk goes down to lead off this game, but at the bottom of the lineup is Joe Lampe, so you still get that 1-2 punch, just not to start things off here in the bottom of the first. Max Anderson leads this team with a .320 average. He's come in from Nebraska and has just lit it up. Behind him is Dalton Rushing, and these two are the sweet spot of this lineup.
Anderson in a new position defensively tonight over at first base. He's ahead 2 balls and no strikes. Well, the sun coming out brought in all the fans here at Doran today. Big crowd, not quite as large as the one we had on Saturday against YD in our last home game, as Anderson chops it over to Kyle Ball and over to Harris, 2 down.
Yeah, definitely not Kids Day again. We had all these
Munchkins.
Humans under 4 feet just scurrying around Doran Park. But again, a good turnout for a team that is looking for win number 14. Has only dropped 2, has tied 3. A complete opposite story for our counterparts here in blue, the Hyannis Harborhawks, with just 2 wins on the season.
Dalton Rushing batting in the 3 spot tonight, and he watches that one miss low. 1 ball and no strikes, as the Braves go for a 3-game sweep over the Harborhawks. 2 on the road and 1 here at home. They had a little bit of a scare a night ago, as Jonas Scalaro, the left-hander from Florida State, 5 innings of 1-hit baseball against this Braves lineup, but they were able to get to Noah Hall, the righty from App State, in that 8th inning, in which featured a whole host of wild pitching from Hall, who could not find the strike zone.
No, he couldn't find the strike zone for the life of him, and even there were some opportunities where the Braves were swinging at balls that we were both saying to each other, why are they swinging? Just, he can't hit the strike zone at all. Don't even give them a chance to make a defensive play.
Called strike on the outer half. Daniel, you made a good point when we were off the air, but you look down up and down this lineup for the Braves, and a lot of the averages of these guys is kind of crunching together, as you would expect, obviously, as the season goes along, as Rushing chops it over to Harris. And Saravo is going to have himself a 1-2-3 inning. We'll talk a little bit more about that as we head to the top of the second here at Doran Park. Well, Ken Turner retired these Harbor Hawks hitters on just 9 pitches. And no, it was not an immaculate inning. He actually didn't strike anybody out, but he got 3 groundouts. Just kidding. I'm sorry. He got 1 strikeout. That was the leadoff hitter, Elliott. I was looking at the Brave side of the scorecard. And then he got 2 groundouts after that in Rose and Kyle Ball. So Zane Harris, cleanup hitter, leading things off. And skies this one out of play.
Oohs and ahs from the crowd. We're going to their first taste of foul ball action. A bit uncharacteristic. You know, yesterday at McKeon Park, Zane Harris had an RBI double that scored for the Harbor Hawks, and that was all that they scored. So a lack of action in the first inning is something that you really don't see quite often with this team, and this matchup, I should say.
2-1 here to Harris. Lifts this one over Upper Cape Tech. And the count runs even here to 2 balls and 2 strikes. Harris had the lone RBI for the Harbor Hawks yesterday, a first-inning RBI double that brought home Clark Elliott. Hard hit over to Max Anderson. He will flip over to the covering Ken Turner. Good job on the PFP. And once again, another ground out here for Turner, 1 away.
Max Anderson looks comfortable over there, doesn't he, Reeves?
He does. It looks natural over there.
Very smooth and just switching him from one foul line to the other. I love seeing Zach Agnos and Max Anderson in the diamond at the same time.
You got 2 very good defenders over there. As a called strike on a breaking ball to the 5-hole hitter, Caleb Pendleton. Daniel, when we were on the road, Caleb Pendleton hit a ball, one of the farthest balls I've seen hit in this Cape League season so far. Obviously, sometimes hard to compare to some of the other stadiums just because with all the shrubbery and the trees behind McKeon Park, kind of hard to tell where it landed, where on a home run by Cade Kern, one time from a Wareham Capeman here at Doran Park, it went over the batting cages. So that one we knew was the 434-foot homer.
Correct.
That the Gateman TrackMan system told us.
Well, unfortunately, you know, Pendleton hit an absolute bomb 2 days ago, but the flip side of that is that was his first hit of the entire season. He's facing his 23rd at-bat here and has only 1 hit on the season, and he goes down again.
I want to use this time to shout out the people of Quest Diagnostics. Daniel, we know that they are big fans. Even a special shout out to Donald. I told him I would give him a shout out. So Donald and the entire Quest Diagnostics team for the COVID tests that we get bi-weekly. I should say every other week. Not bi-weekly, but every other week. I want to shout out to them. They were on the road at Chatham the last time. So.
Bi-monthly.
Yes, bi-monthly is the word I was looking for. Good call, Daniel. But yes, great team, and love that they give the support to these Braves, and these Bravos surely aren't disappointing with 13 wins on the year. Swing and a miss. Great pitch there from Ken Turner.
Yeah, still no base runners for either team in the top of the second. There's 1 out here, a picture-perfect day. The wind has shifted since the last game against YD here to left center. So something to keep an eye out for. It was for the first time going towards Froggy's pull, which is the foul pole out there in right field.
The Braves by far and away have the most points in the Cape League. We know that the point system here this year with the ties. As that fastball taken on the inner half, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Obviously a tie being 1 point, a win being 2, and a loss being 0. The Braves with 29, the next highest are Brewster and YD, although not in our division at 22, so we don't have to worry about that. There might be the first home run. If it can stay fair, that ball is a home run. That one just over Froggy's pull. As Daniel, you just mentioned, Luke Mann sends a shot to right, and the Harbor Hawks, just as they did yesterday, strike first.
Wow, that just wrapped around Froggy's pole, and Luke Mann draws first blood for the Hyannis Harbor Hawks. They take the lead here at Doran Park, and that was about as close as you can get. It went right over the foul pole, and the first base umpire gave the signal, called it fair, and 1-0. Ken Turner lets up his first run of the day.
Ken Turner will look to get back on the bump as Romano shows bunt and pulls back, called strike. That was Luke Mann's first home run of the season, his third RBI. And Hyannis struck first in the first yesterday. I was on the Zane Harris double, as I mentioned, when he led off this inning. As they'll have to chase this foul ball.
Yeah, Luke Mann batting 167 coming into today. Improving on that, he had 13 games where he's appeared with 42 at-bats. And for him, that is his first home run of the season.
0-2. That's about as good of a spot as you can ask for, but just missed on the outer half. Picture-perfect night in Bourne, and a picture-perfect pitch. Maybe you could say picture-perfect there for Ken Turner as he gets Romano swinging, and the Braves bats will look to get on the board. They now trail 1-0. Here's we head to the bottom of the second. We're back here at Doran Park. The Braves went in order on a nap check. Anderson and rushing ground out. The first three hitters bounced out, and we'll head to the bottom of the second here. 4, 5, and 6 for the Braves, and the two guys due up first were the heroes in last night's game. Braylon Wimmer, a 2-run single, gave the Braves the lead in the 8th, and then Caden Wallace added on a 2-run double. This one hit into center. Caden Rose battles the sun, but makes the catch for a first pitch out.
Yeah, the sun could be a factor here. One of the first real sunny days at Doran Park that we've had in quite a while. It actually reminds me of a couple of weeks back when we had Kyler Fedko in right field. Remember, Reeves, when he had completely no idea where the ball was coming? It should have been a routine fly ball to right field. Caden Wallace, actually, who is in the batter's box, will be taking over that role for the most part. But the sun going down, especially in about an hour or so, even now, is really tough for these outfielders just to field a simple routine ball.
Wallace cuts through that pitch, and it is 0-2. Saravo has been one of the best pitchers on this Hyannis staff for a team that we have chronicled their struggles on the pitching mound here in 2021, as that slider misses away there to Caden Wallace.
Wallace coming in with a .318 average. Again, one of the top of the order, most efficient batters of this team from Arkansas.
Bourne, who leads the Cape League with a .215 staff ERA. Talked about it on Monday when we talked about these two teams. Daniel, quite the opposite for Hyannis. If you didn't listen to the broadcast on Monday with the audio only here, listening back at home, this is a Hyannis team as Wallace goes down, and they'll do the formalities for the second out. But the Hyannis staff, a 5.66 staff ERA, almost 3.5 points higher as far as earned run average is concerned when it comes to these two staffs. And this is a guy in Saravo who has done the best he's good this year to bring that ERA down.
Saravo has been that guy for the Harbor Hawks that they can put out and know he's going to pitch solidly. He has thus far. He's facing a Nick Goodwin here, who coming into the game batting .308. And as Reeves mentioned, all of these guys that usually have been struggling at the bottom of the order are really equalizing the scale. They're all batting around 300, whether that's a bit north or a bit south of that. Majority of the lineup is equalizing as far as their batting average.
We talked about also Hyannis, they're a team who, I mean, obviously, Daniel, they've given up a lot of hits, and they've been hit around. There's no question about that, but also a pitching staff that has been wild. We saw it last night with Noah Hall from App State, but this is a team that leads the league in walks issued, but they also lead the league in opponents' average, a .258 opponents' average against them. So that is tough when a team's opponent average against you is close to .260, but Saravo is silencing any of those doubts about the Hyannis pitching staff tonight. 6 up, 6 down. He gets Wallace and Goodwin on strikes, and we head to the third here with the Braves trailing 1-0. Reeves Jackson, Daniel Coates back with you. Top of the third, 8-9-1. Due up here for Hyannis. I'll turn it over to Daniel Coates.
Thank you, Reeves. The 8-spot hitter, Mason Greer, digs in and takes a pitch from Turner, high and outside, 1-0. We're going to have Mitchell Hardigan at the 9 spot, and on deck and in the hole will be Clark Elliott. Hard hit, ground ball scooped up by Max Anderson, the new first baseman, out number 1. A good snag there. Both third basemen have had decent snags here today off hard hit ground balls by the Harbor Hawks.
The left fielder from Florida Atlantic University, number 28, Mitchell Hardigan.
Mitchell Hardigan, the caboose of this lineup.
Yeah, Hardigan 1 for 3 last night. Did have that air out in left field.
Another ground ball chopper Snagged again by Max Anderson. He gets the first 2 down. Looking comfortable as ever on the other side of the infield.
Yeah, well, new position, and the ball is going to find you early and often. That's already 3 grounders over to Max Anderson through the first time through the order.
Number 25, Clark Elliott.
And talk about Clark Elliott. Boy, has he been good. 4 hits against the Braves.
3 pitches and 2 outs for Ken Turner. Drifts outside, and Clark Elliott has been consistently moving up in the lineup and has the best average on the team for the Harbor Hawks, which is still shy of 300, so they have most certainly had their woes offensively, but not there. Clark Elliott slaps one up the middle and stays at first.
Yeah, solid piece of hitting right there. Took that fastball from Ken Turner and
The center fielder from the University of
delivered it right back where it came from and
Hayden
just
Rose.
almost decapitated Turner along with it.
Both teams have been able to make contact today. The Hyannis Harbor Hawks have done so a bit more often. That was due to Mann's bomb to right field, wrapping around the Froggies' foul pole. 1-0. The Harbor Hawks on the road are leading like they did yesterday, just in a different setting. Caden Rose, with his second appearance at the plate today, faces a Ken Turner from the stretch. Elliott jumps back, and the Michigan kid has been really putting out a solid performance against the Braves over the last 3 games.
Yeah, now 5 hits for Clark Elliott. And that was his second at-bat of the game. Struck out in the first, but good job there.
Pop fly, Christian Knapczyk at shortstop, taking over for Tanner Schobel, who we saw there yesterday, finishes it off. Ken Turner gets out of the inning, only allowing 1 hit. That was to Elliott. Surprise, surprise. We are going to go to the bottom of the 3rd. The Braves still have 0 in the run column.
With a Billington Sea kayak key fob. If these happen to be yours, come up to the broadcast booth and retrieve your keys. Thank you. Now batting, the third baseman. from
Zach
Eastern
Agnos in the
University,
bottom
number
3 of the
13,
lineup
Zach
will
Agnos.
start things off. There'll be the 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to go to the top of the order. Agnos, Burns, and Lampy are due up. Zach Agnos, the first of those. The third baseman will face Saravo. Taken high.
Yeah, good to see Zach Agnos back in the lineup. Zach, one of the more interesting guys on this team, you could say, Daniel.
Very talkative, always very nice to the interns. He's for sure one of the more entertaining players to follow if you follow our social media. He is all over it. Just a nice kid, the ECU Pirate has had quite a season as well, defensively and offensively.
Yeah, Zach is a class act, that's for sure. Best word to describe him.
He faces a 2-1 count. He comes into today with a 206 average at the plate. 2-2. A good pitch from Saravo. Unlike a lot of the other places that we travel, Reeves, we do not have a gun to show the speed that Saravo is pitching it, as well as Ken Turner. High fly ball to right field. Elliott right underneath it in shallow right. That's out number 1. And again, the Braves can't get a man on the base path. Haven't this entire game. Peter Burns looking to change that. The catcher from BC, who has become catcher number 1 after the departure of Colton Bender, drafted in the 10th round, pick 310 to the San Diego Padres organization.
Yeah, obviously the role's going to step up for Petey, but then in the same scenario now, at the same time, Dalton Rushing is going to be called on to catch more, and those duties are going to fall into his lap on every other day. But obviously we know that our Theo Bartolomeo is working hard behind the scenes, our MLB scout liaison intern from Central Michigan. And Daniel, we know that Theo is already trying to track players down to come and join the Bourne Bravos as we look to gain a few more pitchers on the staff and also look to gain another catcher. Obviously Rushing has caught games before, but you'd like to have at least one more catcher just as a security blanket.
1-1's taken high into right field. Tracking it is Romano in shallow right, and he stumbles but secures it. Out number 2, both going to right field. And the Braves have not been able to figure out Saravo. He has made quick work of the first 8 in his first cycle through the lineup. But Joe Lampe, who is most often seen at the top of the order, now seen at the bottom. We still have that 1-2 punch of Joe Lampe and Christian Knapczyk.
Yeah, this is still Joe Lampe who leads this team with base hits. He's 18 for 60 and even 300 average on the season. No homers, 4 driven in. He's drew 6 walks. But lately for Joe, the strikeouts have been a bit of an issue. Obviously, there was a one and major question last night.
2-0. We talked to Joe after the game yesterday. He had an instance where it was a full count and a ball that looked well outside and had Joe Lampe trotting to first was apparently called looking for strike 3, but Joe Lampe said that the ump said ball 4 before he gave the strikeout call.
Yeah, that'll get you moving down to first base, right? And then rung up on strikes. Can't be too happy about that. I'll blame Joe.
2-1 taken behind the net towards the crowd. It drops foul. Thankfully, no one hurt here in the crowd, and we always say it, but you have to be looking.
Yes.
When you come to a Cape Cod League game, no matter where it is, they're always going to be in play. The fans are as much a part of this game as the players are. 2-2, 2 outs to Joe Lampe. He's batting .300 flat this season. Popped up. Saravo calling off his catcher Pendleton for out number 3. All 3 batters taking it into the sky, but they all end up in the gloves of Hyannis Harbor Hawks. We're going to go to the top of the 4th. 1-0. The Harbor Hawks are your leaders here at Doran Park. And Ken Turner will be on the mound again for the Bourne Braves. And Calvin, I'm going to send it down to you. What does it mean for a guy like Ken Turner, who is most comfortable and most recently coming out of the bullpen in relief? What's the transition looking like after much of our starting pitchers have gone to the MLB draft or have left the team for other reasons?
Well, you know what, Daniel, I really think it takes a lot because it's a whole different mindset starting the game versus coming out of the bullpen. Look, you're in the bullpen on any given night. You don't know if you're coming into the game. As a starter, you know right when you show up, you're getting the ball. And in the case of Ken Turner, only 6 1/3 innings pitched coming into the game tonight, getting his first start of the season. But he's been very good. 3 strong innings already, pitching very efficiently, getting a lot of contact early in counts. So he could last at least 4 innings, maybe even 5. It'd be great to get some length out of Ken Turner tonight.
Thank you, Calvin. And Ken Turner will be on the mound for the top of the fourth. He has let up a home run, but other than that, has been quite efficient. I mean, let's look at the time. This has been one quick game, 1-0 in another Western Division battle. This is our third game against the Hyannis
Daniel, if you want an actual watch, here you go. Yeah, no, top of the fourth already. This game is briskly moving along, and Ken Turner has just allowed 2 hits. Unluckily for him, that one by Luke Mann went over Froggy's pullout in right field. But, hey, just like Jake Bennett did last night, you give up the 1 run, you settle down, you pitch great, and you hope the offense can put up more than 1 run, because this is very realistically a replay of last night's game. Let's just hope the Braves can get on the board earlier than the 8th.
The first pitch drops low. This is Kyle Ball from the Harbor Hawks, who grounded to Christian Knapczyk on the left side of the infield in the first inning. 2 missing in a row, and Ken Turner's pitch count very, very low. There's action in the bullpen, especially with a guy who is more used to relieving in the Cape League. Looks like another ground ball. Zach Agnos cuts off Knapczyk, throws it high. Can he get it? Max Anderson got off the bag. And that will push Kyle Ball to first base. It was a good snag by Zach Agnos, but he couldn't deliver.
Yeah, it should easily go as a base hit, and it will. So Ball aboard with a single. Kyle Ball on first from Stetson University. A famous alum, you're wondering? Well, Jacob deGrom, where he played shortstop for Stetson. That's why he was one of the Mets' best hitters every 5th day he was in the lineup when he was on the mound.
Well, the Stetson product has a man on first. That's Ball. Line drive right to Christian Knapczyk. Good snag from the Louisville Cardinal. You see him over there during batting practice, practicing plays like that, and he did not miss a beat. That's out number 1.
Yeah, beautiful snag there by Knapczyk. Almost similarly, Daniel, we saw one on opening day against the Harbor Hawks. Remember when he climbed up and grabbed that? And almost similarly, as I was saying, did the same thing right there.
Well, he does the exact same thing early on against the Harbor Hawks. Swing and a miss from Caleb Pendleton. As I mentioned, he only has 1 hit, and it came against the Bourne Braves in the form of a 3-run blast to left center.
There's a lot of similarities between this game against Hyannis at home and the first game of the season. The sun's out for one.
Low scoring.
Low scoring. Well, I guess one of the differences you could say is it's not 0-0 going into the 8th, but it is low scoring. And obviously Knapczyk made that catch over at short. But a first out of relief tonight for the Bravos after Ken Turner. A guy we haven't seen too much of from Lamar University, it's Josh Hyannis. Whenever Ken Turner, probably his last inning of relief we talked about, even though the pitch count is still low. I'd say this would be his last inning as he tried to stretch Ken Turner out. His previous high in any game was 2 1/3 innings.
1 and 2, and we see Hyannis often taking BP,
yes,
which is something that we're still eagerly anticipating.
Yeah, got 1 at bat at Lamar this year, but he's a guy that has always been a hitter his entire life.
1 and 2, check swing. It gets behind Peter Burns. He can't find it, but Kyle Ball advances to second. They say he didn't go.
Wow.
It was a check swing.
Oh, my, he about went clear as day.
An interesting call. Caleb Pendleton, the catcher, stays alive and now has a man in scoring position.
I thought it was almost 3/4 of a swing, but saw differently in the eyes of the field umpire.
Pendleton takes one to right field. Coming in, Caden Wallace. He snags it. Kyle Ball decides to stay at second with no tag. Pendleton continues to struggle at the plate. And Ken Turner, again, looks like he's making quick work of the Hyannis Harbor Hawks in this quick game thus far in the top of the fourth here at Doran Park. Another packed house. Reeves, that's what happens when you make it to lucky number 13 before anyone else in the Cape Cod League in the win column.
Yeah, speaking of lucky numbers, our official score, Mr. Bob, was nice enough to put together a bit of a grid here as far as some different statistics that we need to keep an eye on. And speaking of lucky numbers, we have a magic number, which is a bit early in the season to be looking at, but Bob said he couldn't resist.
He couldn't help himself.
Couldn't help himself. So we'll tell you, too, in the audience at home, Braves magic number, 28 games to a postseason spot. If you don't know how that works, obviously, it was 32 last night. So obviously, if the Braves won, which they did, and then the team in second, Katuitt, they lost, and so did Wareham. Or no, sorry, Wareham was off yesterday, but Katuitt lost. They lost to Harwich. So with Bourne winning, Katuitt losing in second, the Braves pick up 2 points while Katuitt picks up 0. So obviously the Braves gain 4 points.
1-1 to Luke Mann, who slapped one over Froggy's pole, wrapped around for a homer. He slaps one into center field. Coming in, Joe Lampe. That's going to drop just before him. Here comes Kyle Ball. He's going to add to the Hyannis Harbor Hawks lead, 2-0. The largest lead of the entire season that our Western Division counterparts have taken. And that's Ken Turner's second allowed, both at the hands of Luke Mann. Have a day. Luke Mann with a homer and an RBI single here in the top of the 4th.
Yeah, well, I think that means one thing. The Braves' bats are going to have to get going. And Saravo's been shutting them down, and he's been great, just like Jonas Calaro did a night ago. But back to the standings real quick, Daniel. Braves 5.5 games up on both Katuitt and Wareham, 6 up on Falmouth, 12.5 up on Hyannis. And meanwhile, in the Eastern Division, things are much closer. Brewster up half a game on YD, 1 game on Harwich, 2.5 on Orleans, and 4 games on Chatham. So the Eastern Division's wide open. Meanwhile, the West, it's too early to call that the Braves are your 1 seed, but right now it's seemingly getting likelier and likelier Bourne will have a playoff spot.
1-0 chopper. Zach Agnos decides to opt to second. And right there is Nick Goodwin for out number 3. Ken Turner allows an RBI single to Luke Mann, scoring Kyle Ball. And the Harbor Hawks in blue have a 2-0 lead here at Doran Park, but the Braves looking to respond in the bottom of the 4th. Christian Knapczyk will be the leadoff hitter in the bottom of the 4th, and he's the 1-spot hitter for the Braves team. And he slaps one just past the glove of Romano up the middle to the center fielder Rose for a leadoff base hit in the bottom of the 4th. That's why Harvey Shapiro has put him at the top of the order. He slaps one into center and adds to his impressive average north of 300.
Yeah, Christian Knapczyk. There we go. Finally got a runner on base. The first hit of the game. First runner of the game.
First opportunity of the game as well for Max Anderson. Saravo misses high. Max Anderson on the season leads in average, 326 coming into today. He grounded to first or grounded right back to Sarava, I should say, back in the first. The 1-0. Pendleton checks down to Knapczyk. That was closer than I believe Christian Knapczyk thought. He's safe at first. A steamy day in Bourne, right off the canal. A very humid, hot day, Reeves, something that we have not been used to.
No.
We're used to rainy and cold.
It's something that's so unusual, but I'm so glad it's finally here.
2-1.
The blue skies all around us. You see on wherever you're watching from home. The beautiful day here at Doran Park. And even on the road the past 2 days at Hyannis, obviously if you weren't here, you only heard the game, but we kind of told you overcast, cloudy, misty even before the game started and early in the afternoon. Before we got to the ballpark, even on Monday, they didn't even take batting practice or IO, infield and outfield that is. But the tides have turned. At least even the weather forecast told us it was cloudy today, but luckily that was proven untrue.
Swing and a miss from Anderson. Both bullpens have action in them. And it looks like that batting practice before the game, Reeves, really has helped the Harbor Hawks thus far, and Knapczyk giving us our first hit of the game in the bottom of the fourth. 2-0, the Harbor Hawks add to their lead. And man, for the Harbor Hawks is the player of the game so far. A cut high and outside. That will do it for Max Anderson. Dalton Rushing will be the next man up.
I always find it interesting looking at some of the alumni of each of these teams as we play every one. And for Hyannis, a few names to mention. Obviously, Jackie Bradley Jr., who spent a lot of his time with the Red Sox, now with the first place Milwaukee Brewers. Brian Anderson is with the Miami Marlins. Aaron Savale. Pete Fairbanks with the World Series runner-up Tampa Bay Rays. Just to name a few. But Kyle Freeland, Mitch Garver, Austin Hayes, who's the outfielder for the Baltimore Orioles. Sean Manaea, who won Pitcher of the Month of May with Oakland. I mean, you got a bunch of guys. Kevin Plawecki, a current Red Sox.
Saravo's fastball drops low. Really good pace on it, obviously from a big frame, and has a lot of leverage on the bump. Christian Knapczyk still at first, one out, bottom four. 2-0, the Braves trail. Rushing in the 3 spot today in the designated hitter. 2-0 now, faces 2 pitches, 2 balls.
We learned, Daniel, that this is already the 3rd rainiest summer that the Cape has seen on record in July. I should say not 3rd rainiest summer, 3rd rainiest July that the Cape has seen on record, and it's only July 14th.
It's almost halfway through what most consider the second month of the summer, so really, really rainy. And we've actually been lucky that we've only have, if I remember correctly, just 2 rainouts. 3 rainouts, I should say. Katuitt in the middle of the game.
Yeah.
And a couple last week.
Yeah, only 3 rainouts. You're right.
The 2-0. First strike to Rushing makes it 2-1. Again, another opportunity where the Braves have a man on base and have the top of their lineup set to take the batter's box. Need some production, though.
How about Chatham? Only 1 rainout. They've been lucky.
Oh, yeah. 4 for Orleans.
And Falmouth. My goodness.
2-1 battled back.
4 for Orleans. They were the only team, them and Wareham, the only game that happened on that Friday in which the Hurricane Elsa came through, which it was a tropical storm at that time, but Wareham and Orleans got the game in. So how about that? Or no, I'm sorry. Excuse me. That was Chatham. By my mistake.
They've done a good job with field conditions and maintaining that. There goes Knapczyk. A hard hit ground right down to the right fielder, and there goes Knapczyk to third base. The Louisville Cardinal advances his own. Christian Knapczyk to third, and that is the second hit of the game, both from Louisville Cardinal products. And Braylon Wimmer The Gamecock will try and send Knapcheck in. First and third situation, and the first that Saravo has had to deal with today from the stretch.
There was a rope over there at second. You could argue that Romano should have gotten to that ball. Might have just hopped over the glove. He wasn't diving or sliding, just outstretched the glove. That's a hard-hit baseball regardless of rushing. Braves will take it, and they need to get a run across here in their first scoring opportunity of the game.
Only one out in the bottom of the fourth. A grounder, Knapcheck going home. That's bobbled by the shortstop. Braylon Wimmer and Dalton Rushing safe at their respective bases, first and second. And that will score one run, 2-1. Hyannis still has the lead, but the Braves are threatening in the bottom of the fourth. And Caden Wallace steps in, not the guy I want to see if I'm Saravo.
No, not at all, especially with first and second, especially with what Caden Wallace did last night. With runners on second and third, he smacked that double over the head of Hardigan and left at McKeon Park. Obviously, that one scored an E6 on the mistake there by Kyle Ball. I'm not sure if he would have been able to get Braylon Wimmer. My say is no with Braylon Wimmer's speed, but definitely would have had an out at second. That'll be an E6. So no RBI for Wimmer unless they counted that as a fielder's choice first. So maybe an RBI for Wimmer. We'll have to take a look at that. But regardless, the Braves are on the board.
Saravo giving a look to Rushing. A chopper down to third, taps on the bag and tries to go to first. Good scoop by the first baseman, Harris. A double play from third. Greer guns it over to Harris for out number 3. But the Braves post one off of 2 hits and an error. 2-1 is the score, and I believe we're going to see Josh Hyannis for the first time in the top of the 5th. Ken Turner's day is done. He only allows 2. The Braves offense shows signs of waking up today here at Doran Park. To the top of the 5th we go in just a few moments. Hyannis will take to the mound in the top of the 5th, taking over for Ken Turner, who posted 4 innings for the Bourne Braves, only allowed 2 and 4 hits. But Hyannis looking to come in and seal the deal and keep these Hyannis Harborhawks on the road at 2 runs. Reeves, take it away, my friend.
Thank you, sir. Josh Hyannis, one of the harder throwers on this Braves team. And before I can even introduce him, a pop-up right in the middle of the diamond. It's going to be Anderson who calls it off. That's always a tough position for every single one of the infielders, including the pitcher and the catcher converging. Nice job there by the usual third baseman, Anderson. He calls off everyone on the diamond. And the first out there against Mason Greer.
Anderson has had a fair amount of defense at first base, a fair amount of action, I should say. And that's going to be interesting because with the lack of catchers, Dalton Rushing might have to assume either the designated hitter spot or the catcher spot, depending on if we are allowed or if we do add another catcher to this roster. But Max Anderson might have to take some more time at first.
Absolutely.
And he's showing great signs thus far.
Yeah, just proving that he can be the rock over there if they need him to be. Well, this is Eknes' 4th appearance on the season. He has thrown 3 innings. He's allowed 3 hits, 1 run. He struck out 3 and only walked 1. I think I already said that, though, as that one is skied over to Agnos. He's going to be right near the Braves dugout, and he's going to make the catch. So Eknes coming in and getting infield pop-ups like nobody's business. The first 2 pop out, 1 to Anderson, 1 to Agnos, his counterpart, over at third. As there are 2 quick outs. The scouting report on Josh Eknes. He's got an electric fastball, 95 to 98. And as you mentioned, a guy that could also maybe get a plate appearance this year from the Woodlands, Texas.
Yeah, we see him all the time in batting practice and just practicing. He has a great pop off the bat. So I would love to see at one point, maybe in a pinch hitting scenario or in a game where we have
a big lead,
heavy lead, just to see what he can do. He's always in the batting cages, and you gotta refine your craft some way. So as much as he's in the bullpen, he is also in batting practice.
I'm telling you, this kid throws heat. Throws flamethrower amount.
I might have to go rummage through our supplies and try and get the radar gun because
Yes.
this is interesting. So he must be scratching high 90s right now.
Absolutely. 1-1. Beautiful pitch. I don't know where it missed. Maybe a little inside. 2-1. To Clark Elliott. As home plate umpire hearing it from the crowd here at Doran Park. 2-1 to Clark Elliott. I tell you, that kid has been uber impressive. The Michigan Wolverine outfielder. He has impressed us. This one ripped over to Knapcheck. Able to get a glove on it, fields it cleanly, tosses over to Max Anderson. Even when he makes outs, they're loud.
How about this infield? Complete brick wall all the way around from third to first.
Well, the Braves, who got a run at the plate their last inning, looking to get some more as we head to the bottom of the 5th, trailing 2-1. Well, the Braves are going to get a little more of Adrian Saravo back out there here in the bottom of the 5th. Braves will send their 6, 7, and 8 hitters to the plate. Nick Goodwin, Zach Agnos, and Peter Burns, who are a combined 0 for 3 today. The Braves didn't even break through the hit column until last inning. The second time through the order, Christian Knapcheck, who singled it right on up the middle. He later came around and scored on Braylon Wimmer's ground ball that was bobbled at short by Kyle Ball.
Saravo with really his first slip up in the last inning.
Goodwin shows bunt and wisely holds back as that one tipped off the glove of Pendleton to the backstop. 1-0. Not sure who the Braves will feature behind Josh Eknes tonight. We do see Xavier Lovett tossing right now in the Braves bullpen. Not sure if he's just throwing a side bullpen or if he's getting loose to come in tonight potentially. Goodwin popped up. First base side, Harris makes the catch as Goodwin collided with the umpire. But regardless, one down.
A lot of pop flies and a lot of infield action tonight. It's been such a quick game that you forget, oh my goodness, we're going to the back end of this game, and again, we're facing a one-run deficit like we did yesterday at McKeon Park.
Yeah, and it's just after 7 o'clock. So we've had an hour of this game, and we might be soon heading to the top of the 6th inning. Talk about speed as Agnos squibs this one foul. Nothing in one here from Saravo. Fastball, good velocity, but misses a little high. 1-1. The Braves are off tomorrow before they travel to YD and face the Red Sox at YD, but the high school Dennis Yarmouth, obviously, but facing the Yarmouth Dennis Red Sox. Do you know why that is, Daniel?
I'm not sure.
Bounced over to third and the toss over to first from Greer.
I will tell you this, it is within walking distance to where you and I live. So
yeah, it sure is.
We could crawl there. And that was where they held the broadcast meeting before.
Yeah.
So we're actually familiar with the area. It's a really, really nice.
Yeah, Red Wilson Field.
Red Wilson Field. And correct me if I'm wrong, but it's one of the fields that does not have lights.
Correct. That's why it's a 5 o'clock start
5 o'clock start time
1 of
tomorrow.
3. YD Brewster in Katuitt.
Pin it down.
Pin it down. 5 o'clock. And that's Friday's game. Off tomorrow. Saturday, the Braves go back to Spillane Field. We get to go back up to the Shark Cage on Shark Week. How about that?
Yes. My favorite week of the year.
0-1. That one is kicked in the dirt. And then on Sunday, to round out the week, we are at home against the good old loved Kettleers.
That'll be interesting, especially with a few games underneath our belt. Last time was a 2-0 loss.
Breaking ball misses down and in. Katuitt has been called the New York Yankees of the CCBL for good reason. They have 17 championships. And, well, they're not the most popular team outside of Katuitt. They're one of the most popular teams in the league because of the outstanding, incredible fan base of Katuitt. But outside of that, Daniel, kind of like the Yankees, where not many teams like them. You love them or you hate them.
Well, they'll always have some sort of target on their back no matter what they do, and that's what happens when you post 17. I think the cool thing is, since our last championship for the Bourne Braves is over a decade ago, now this recent success that we've been having has kind of caught eyes, and Katuitt's realized that they have this Western counterpart in us that might just take them for a beating whatever game they come into, but they had our number in that last game at Doran Park, our first loss, and that was a 2-0 dropped game here, I believe just a week ago.
Yeah, Andy Garriola did the damage with the 2-run homer. The Rice outfielder. Peter Burns draws a walk. The kid is an on-base machine. Joe Lampe steps into the box in the 9-hole. He's 0 for 1. Takes a fastball that missed inside.
Well, Joe Lampe was my player to pop tonight. He popped out to the pitcher in his last at-bat, but he's coming off a 2-strikeout game yesterday, so I'm looking for the Arizona State Sun Devil to get back to how he was in the first few games of this season, where he was just lighting it up. You could not predict where he was going to hit it, but you could tell he was going to hit a gap. Time called by Pendleton. I think it's a good idea. Saravo's having some trouble hitting the zone.
Well, now 7 times in 11 games that Peter Burns has played in this year where he has reached base. He has outstanding plate discipline, one of the best eyes on the team as far as being able to work the counts deep and draw walks.
He now is in second, tied for second with Zach Agnos with 7 walks. but he doesn't have the highest batting average. However, he is so effective just getting on base, and that just shows his scrappiness that also is transcended behind the plate that we see him at the catching position tonight.
That was head coach Gary Calhoun, the field manager of this team in his first season out of Florida Southern College, his alma mater. There's been a lot of turnover in the Hyannis organization. Their second manager in as many seasons. As a 3-0 count here to Joe Lampe. Obviously a league worst 9 wins in 2019. And maybe not even looking if they'll scratch that number in 2021, at least at the pace they are on. 3-0, Lampe will watch a fastball hit the zone.
And that's what turnover does. It's really hard to get any sort of traction as far as picking up players and management style when you're having that much turnover, especially at the top.
Yeah, absolutely. And tough to keep bringing in players when you have constant turnovers. As you mentioned, Lampe skies this one. First base side looking like it'll be in play for Zane Harris, and it is. So Joe Lampe pops out for his second time in as many plate appearances today. And now with a moment here, we will send it down to our own Calvin Cristoforo. But Calvin, I want to ask you here, now that the MLB draft obviously started on Sunday night and concluded yesterday, obviously round 1 on Sunday, and then rounds 2 through 10 on Monday with rounds 11 through 20 yesterday, the Braves obviously getting multiple guys drafted. They lost a few pitchers. They lost their catcher Bender. But you look around the league and every team is affected by it. So many guys getting drafted. So just talk about what the MLB draft does for not only the Bourne Braves, but for all the teams in this league in general.
You know what, Reeves? It's definitely taken a toll on this Braves team. Look, you lost most of your rotation, guys like Gordon Graceffo, Nick Zwack, all gone to the draft. But hitters-wise for this Braves team, they didn't lose too many guys. Colton Bender, Kyler Fedko, sure they're big losses, but comparatively speaking, you look like a team at like Chatham. They lost 16 guys to the MLB draft. You look across the diamond into the Hyannis dugout, they have 3 or 4 guys in the dugout at one time right now against this Braves team. So, yeah, it hurt this Braves team in the draft, but I think comparatively to the other teams in the Cape Cod League, they didn't do too bad.
Great report, Calvin. Obviously, the Braves, Nick, they lost Nick Zwack. They lost Peter Van Loon, Gordon Graceffo, Colton Bender, Kyler Fedko. Did I miss anyone?
Well, to undrafted
yes.
Andrew Taylor now.
Yes, okay. Okay,
So,
but to the draft in general.
To the draft in general,
Yeah,
yes.
my question down to Calvin was the impact of not just the Bourne Braves losing players, but the entire league losing players.
Yes,
So
a
it doesn't
ton.
just affect Bourne. And honestly, when you take a look at the grand scheme of things, Bourne was one of the least affected teams. Outside of their rotation, obviously, got depleted. And obviously mentioned Andrew Taylor, another guy, external factors due to the draft that he will not be with the Braves. But, I mean, Katuitt lost so many players, just one of the teams. Obviously, Hyannis lost 7 guys. So many teams losing multiple players. So that's something to keep an eye on, roster turnover, as the draft was later this year.
And that goes back to just kind of how Harvey Shapiro structures his teams, usually going for those younger guys that aren't draft eligible. I know in some cases a guy like Gordon Graceffo was supposed to play out here last year, didn't. Harvey Shapiro felt the loyalty towards him in order to, you know, kind of stick true to his word, have him play out here for him. So that's why he was out here, but, you know, everyone kind of knew he was going to be one of those guys drafted. But
excuse me, check swing by Caden Rose. The Braves have had his number 0 for 11 in this 3-game set. For Caden, he's grounded out to third. He's popped out to Knapcheck. Josh Eknes, talk about hard throwers, Nick. This guy can light up the radar gun, 95 to 98.
I mean, he's been hitting high velos every time we've seen him, and seems to be somewhat consistent as well. I know he takes BP before games,
we're talking about that, yeah.
I don't know why, to be honest. We haven't seen him in the lineup yet.
Yeah,
so.
no, we were talking. What maybe the Braves are leading big, and you see Eknes come on and get an at bat. Maybe could you see that?
I would like to see it. I mean, why not? He looks decent in BP.
Yeah, no, he does. Full count. That one misses downstairs. A leadoff walk here to Rose. It's the second time he's been on base in this 3-game set. He reached on a fielder's choice yesterday. Obviously, that does
Now batting. The
not go in as a hit
Stetson University,
while
number
counting
26,
as an at-bat.
Kyle Ball.
So the Braves trailing 2-1. They have only been able to muster up 2 hits this afternoon. That was on a Christian Knapczyk and Dalton Rushing single.
Yeah, I mean, this offense, for some reason, just struggles against Hyannis starting pitching. And it hasn't just been this 3-game series. It's been,
Yeah,
it
even
goes back to
the
opening
first
night.
game.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I don't know why.
That was against.
I can't tell you why.
That was
but
against Seth Halverson.
yes.
Yeah, from Mizzou going to Tennessee.
Did he
And
get drafted? I don't think he's on the roster anymore.
He's not on the
right?
roster.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I would not sure.
I don't even know if he was draft eligible. to
Yeah,
be
I don't
honest.
know either. Could be an Andrew Taylor situation. This
oh,
one
my goodness, I thought that
is
was
sky to left. My goodness, Nick, what'd you think there?
I thought that was gone, man.
You watching the same game I am?
I don't know. I'm sitting a little bit to the left here. Could be the angle. I don't know.
Oh, Nick, that's funny.
Oh man.
Well, speaking of transfers,
Mm.
one of our own
Oh,
just
yes.
transferred. Xavier Lovett went from Mississippi State to,
Texas A&M. So the Aggies.
yeah, staying in the SEC. And staying in the SEC West as well.
Good for him.
Good for him.
Good for him.
Yeah.
Always good to kind of lock that down where you're going to transfer.
Well, he gets a ring, too.
Yeah, not a bad deal. Not a bad deal.
Obviously, Xavier wasn't in Omaha. As that pitch misses downstairs to Kyle Ball. 2 balls and a strike. Top of the 6th inning with the Braves trailing 2-1.
Good crowd again here.
Yeah, another great crowd. Even on for a weekday night.
It's a Wednesday.
It's a Wednesday.
Well, hump day action.
Yeah, and if this is the crowd Wednesday, we are in shape for good weather for the remainder of the weekend, at least according to the forecast now. And, Nick, I am ready for the crowd that we could potentially get on Sunday night versus Katuitt. That's going to be a big crowd.
That's going to be a massive crowd.
Yeah.
Might have to build some bleachers out in center field, right field. Scratch the bullpens.
Yeah. And so, okay, outside of potential playoff games here at Doran Park, this one slow chopper over to Agnos, but foul. Outside of potential playoff games at Doran Park, do you think we beat the previous 2021 record of 1,864 that we
100%.
set?
100%.
Okay. What is Sunday? You gotta call up. I mean, that was kid night. Granted, that was kid night. There were a lot of kids that count for that crowd.
Yeah.
But Sunday night, do we beat that crowd or no? Close, maybe close.
Is there anything going on Sunday night?
I don't believe so. I don't have the exact promotional schedule in front of me, but
Yeah. Is it like?
it's Nick Galley
Is
night.
it bring your extended family night or something?
It's Nick Galley night. Everyone gets a personal meet and greet with Nick Galley.
No, that is not true.
Well, Kyle Ball just got up close and personal with a Josh Ekna's breaking ball. He strikes out looking 1 down. You said it's not true?
Not true. That's not a actual promotion. If you're at the ballpark, would like to meet me of all people, feel free. I mean, introduce yourself.
Who wouldn't want to meet
I'll be here.
TikTok famous content creator
I
Nick
am
Galley?
not TikTok famous. Colton Bender is pretty much TikTok famous.
Well, you have something to do with it. You created the video.
I created the video. I was just the deliverer of the message.
Okay, well, your name is still actually in that
It's in the
caption.
caption. It's
yes.
in the caption. It is indeed.
It is indeed.
Pretty. I mean.
What are the numbers up to on that?
Let's check, Reeves. I got to make sure my volume doesn't interfere with the broadcast.
Well,
though.
if it does, they just
I
get to
got
hear
you.
a sappy song. And
Well, you don't know what shows up on.
that is true.
Could be techno music or something. You don't want that. Very disturbing to the broadcast. So it's up to 635.6 thousand views.
Wow.
And 94.2 thousand likes.
And tell us who commented on it.
The MLB did, which was pretty great.
That's
It
pretty
was
cool.
Nice.
The official at MLB.
Fantastic
handle.
TikTok. So that was a cool thing to see. Getting the Braves some nice exposure.
Faking a move to second was Rose. He thinks better of to do that than to run on Peter Burns. 1-1 the count. Here, top of the 6th. Zane Harris at the plate. The cleanup hitter is 0 for 2. He grounded out to Anderson, who flipped over tonight's starter, Ken Turner, and he lined out hard to nap check.
I will say the content creation team we have here in Bourne, fantastic.
Fantastic.
From Joe to Ellie to you two meatheads, you and Daniel.
Well, thanks, Nick. You are just fine yourself.
We got Calvin down on the sideline.
Yeah, well, our plan, I don't want to spoil anything, but might as well tell the audience, our plan is to, after this home game starting Sunday versus Katuitt, to start have all of the interns on at least once a game, going through everybody.
Yeah.
To have Joe on, to have Ellie on, to have our general manager Darren on.
You got to have
even
Darren
Jenna
on.
Beth and
have Jenna Beth on,
Nicole, our president, to even the game day ops interns, getting to talk to them as well. So,
because I don't know what I know what they do, but I'd like to learn more about like what a game's like for them.
Absolutely.
Because obviously we're up here during the game.
Yes.
So, we don't see what's going on in concessions or
Yeah.
down low in the merch shop.
Absolutely.
The 50-50 raffle, which, I know they're giving away some good stuff this year.
Yeah, even Calvin won a 50-50 $10 ice cream gift
man,
card.
that's like insider trading.
That's insider trading.
That's suspicious.
He said his dad, Brian. If you're listening, it was fantastic to meet you. You see a lot of Calvin. I know you talked to Calvin's dad. You see a lot of Calvin in him?
Calvin's dad's cooler.
Yes, I agree. 100%.
I don't know what happened with Calvin.
I don't know either. Something went wrong there.
He's just not cool, man. He's just not cool. Calvin's dad cool. Calvin.
3-2 runner on the move. This one chopped foul past Anderson.
Did you give the shout out to Quest Diagnostics?
I did. Second inning today.
Excellent. I'd like to shout out Quest Diagnostics as well.
To my man Donald too.
Yes, Donald.
Yes. Love Donald. Love everybody at Quest.
And the whole team.
For our bi-monthly, I said bi-weekly to Daniel, and I quickly realized, oh my goodness, if we had to get COVID tested twice a week, I love Quest Diagnostics, but I'm glad it's not twice a week.
No, I wouldn't want that either. I don't like sticking that thing up my nose.
Twice a month.
Twice a month.
So we'll get another one, next week, I guess? And that'll be the
I
last
don't even
one
know.
of July?
Reeves, I don't even know, man. The days.
Runner on the move again. Harris is going to put this one off into the crowd down the left field line.
I was telling Calvin, I don't even know the days anymore.
No, they're all
I wake
together.
up. I just know where I need to be, what time I need to be there.
Saturday blends in with a Tuesday.
You might want to get that checked out. My Saturdays aren't blending in with my Tuesdays, Reeves. That's a little too far-fetched. Something might be wrong with
the
you.
point is, we have a game Tuesday night. We have a game Saturday night. My routine of each day is the same.
That's the same, yeah.
So, therefore, my Saturdays blend into Tuesdays.
That's fair, I guess.
Okay. You see what I'm saying,
I
man?
just enjoy making fun of you, man.
I know you do. It wouldn't be the same.
You can't not make fun of Reeves Jackson.
Full count. This one is going to potentially be in play. Down the line, it's going to stay in the field of play, but in foul territory, it bounces. Unable to field it out there is Braylon Wimmer.
Do the people at home know your real name or no? Is that still?
The audience?
Yeah.
They don't. Should we tell them?
I think so. You've been living with an alias for 3 weeks.
Well, Reeves is a part of my actual name.
I mean,
it's
if
just
you're comfortable, it's not some dirty secret, is it?
Not even at all. It's my father's name. It's my dad's name.
True.
So, Reeves is my middle name. My first name is Ashby, Ashby. So, for everyone at home, Ashby Reeves Jackson, full name. Tell you about the interesting family dynamic. First, the 3-2, but it's a breaking ball that misses outside. Eknos has issued 2 free passes as this inning has been extended a little bit. So, here's how it works. My grandfather's first name is Rollin, although that's his middle name.
Going to go through the whole Jackson family tree now.
Just 3, just real quick. My dad's name is Rollin Ashby Jackson, so he has what my grandfather's first name, or middle name, but goes by that name, goes by. That's my dad's first name, and then my dad's middle name is Ashby, which he goes by that name. And same thing with me. Ashby's my first name, which is my dad. What he goes by his middle name. My name's Reeves. So I guess I have to name, if I have a son, his first name Reeves, right?
Yes.
I guess I have to continue that trend. Harvey Shapiro is out. He's going to get the ball from Josh Eknes. It looks like it'll be Xavier Lovett, the new Texas A&M Aggie, on in relief. Reeves Jackson and Nick Galley will be back with you here on the Braves audio, I should say video, here back at home, YouTube live stream in just a moment. Xavier Lovett will replace Josh Eknes with 2 aboard. Those both belong to the Lamar University right-hander. But Xavier Lovett gets to return to his home state from Houston, Texas. The Aggie now will be in Texas A&M, obviously, College Station, Texas, as we introduce Xavier Lovett, making his 6th appearance on the season, Nick. He has a save to his credit. No runs allowed, a perfect ERA for Xavier. 4 1/3 innings, 1 hit, 1 walk, 4 strikeouts. His last appearance came 2 nights ago in relief of Cade Smith when there was some trouble afloat, but Xavier got a big strikeout.
Yeah, he's been fantastic.
He'll face Caleb Pendleton. First pitch, a fastball. The velo on Xavier, the scouting report on him, 92 to 95 with his fastball with a ++ slider.
You know, I'm not one to complain about umpires, all right?
But last night,
I probably said this the last time I was on, too. Some of the calls, I don't understand.
today or last night?
Last night
Yes.
and today,
Okay,
though, too.
and today,
I mean,
too.
there's been a few that look like they've been on the, inside corner to righties, outside corner to lefties. That just, I don't know. I mean, to be fair, I don't have the best vantage point either.
You know, Nick, you go do it, okay? How about that?
I can't. I used to back in the day.
2-0, good pitch there by Xavier. Finds the strike zone. 2 balls and a strike.
$20
to
for a
Caleb
little,
Pendleton.
$20 per Little League game.
So you did some umpiring.
I did. I got yelled at quite a bit.
My brother did. I never did, though. Never followed in his footsteps of being a Little League umpire.
No.
So one of my good friends did. I'll have to tell you the story here after this pitch. 2-1 from Xavier.
Oh.
This one is cracked into center. It sends Joe Lampe on his horse. He's going back. He looks up, and that is going to be a ground rule double for Caleb Pendleton. So luckily for the Braves, Zane Harris will have to stop at third, although it does bring home Caden Rose. And Hyannis is hitting the ball well tonight. They lead 3-1 and still have 2 in scoring position with less than 2 down. That was rope, Nick.
Yeah, I thought that was gone. So, I mean, getting out of that with 1 run instead of 3.
At least for now, we'll take it.
Yeah, for now.
Well, regardless of how much a team is struggling, we know how hard it is to beat a team twice. We know how hard it is to beat a team 3 times. The Braves are going for their 4th win over Hyannis this season, albeit 3 in a row. So at least when you play a team consecutively, it's hard to beat a team 3 times.
Really hard.
I mean,
I don't care the record. Throw the
no,
record
no,
out
throw
the
the record
window,
out.
yeah.
They're in the league for a reason. They're Cape Leaguers for a reason. This one line, this is fair down the right field line here from Luke Mann. Luke Mann has had an absolute night. 3 for 3, and now 4 RBIs for Luke Mann. He had the home run back in the 2nd. He had an RBI single in the 4th, and now a 2-run double. He's just a triple shy of the cycle.
Oh, this is bad, Reeves.
This is like a Colby Thomas night. Flip it around for Luke Mann for Hyannis. And it is 5-1 Harbor Hawks. All Hyannis here tonight thus far.
I mean, it just goes back to not scoring early. I mean, we see it again. Bourne kind of stymied at the plate. You just can't do that. Yeah, I don't care who the team is. I don't care the record. You gotta jump on teams early.
Ryan Romano now up to the plate against Xavier Lovett. So 2 of those runs go to Josh Eknes, while the runner in Pendleton, who doubled and scored, that's the first run that Xavier Lovett has allowed this season. 1-0, slider misses. 2 balls and no strikes.
Sorry for the silence here. We are tweeting away.
Got the Twitter fingers working?
Yeah, man, it catches up on you quick.
Nick, I need some off-day plans for tomorrow.
My parents want to get lunch.
There you go.
If they're listening, I guess lunch is the plan.
This one lifted to right. Caden Wallace goes back a few steps, has to battle the sun. Tagging over to third is Luke Mann. Wallace has a great arm. This one will not be in time, though, so Romano flies out.
But yeah, some writing, couple articles should be dropping tomorrow. If all goes well, got the off-day rundown, which we get up on every off day. And should be a nice little story. If I can get it finished tonight on Jordan Patty and Andrew Taylor tomorrow and their relationship.
There you go.
So.
2 Central Michigan Chippewas. including our own MLB scout liaison intern, Theo Bartolomeo, a.k.a. your roommate.
Yes.
Swing and a miss. Good pitch right there.
Living in our Airbnb
Basement.
our Airbnb basement.
Had to throw that in there.
With 1.5 windows.
But you get him.
You know.
You got the windows. Theo doesn't.
Theo does not, yeah. It's tough.
0-1, chopped foul. So the Braves bats are going to have to do some major work over the final 4 innings tonight if they want to salvage at least a tie or even come back and get the win. Only 2 hits. Those are both by Louisville players in Knapcheck and Rushing. But
Well,
if any team is capable of doing it, they can do it.
We know they can have 5-run innings against the Harbor Hawks.
Yes.
You know?
Experienced that last night. 0-2 here to Mason Greer. This is chopped over to second. And Max Anderson has to go a long ways to first. Play a little closer than anticipated, but Nick Goodwin tosses him out. And that will do it for the Harbor Hawks. But they score 3 times thanks to a Caleb Pendleton RBI ground rule double. And Luke Mann, who added his 3rd hit and 4th RBI, 3rd and 4th, a 2-run double. And the Harbor Hawks lead by 4 going to the home half of the 6th. Bottom of the 6th, Reeves Jackson, Daniel Coates. Braves trying to battle back after giving up 3 in the top of the 6th inning. But a familiar face on the mound, someone they saw Monday night who silenced their bats, the lefty out of Louisville, Evan Webster.
Webster's going to face his teammate here, Christian Knapcheck.
And Dalton Rushing this inning, 3rd.
And the 3rd, yeah.
Yeah.
Look at that.
How about that?
A lot of ACC talent here.
There sure is. A bunch.
I'll tell you what, Reeves, I was away from the microphone for a great amount of time.
Yes.
We were joking with Nick. That was like a 20, 30-minute visit from Nick.
Yeah.
Far too long.
Well, nothing like Nick Galley being on the air when we give up runs. A story as old as time. 2-0 here to Knapcheck. So we'll have a leadoff runner on base, and so far, 3-0 count to Christian. As Pendleton tells Webster out there just to calm down, but another excellent start from a Harbor Hawk pitcher tonight. We saw it in Jonah Scolaro last night, and in Saravo tonight. Adrian Saravo was excellent over 5 innings. And then you turn it over to the Hyannis bullpen, which has by far been a league worst bullpen. And Christian Knapcheck is aboard on a 4-pitch walk. The starters for Hyannis have not been horrible this year, Daniel. It's been the bullpen that has continued to let this team down time and time again.
Knapczyk on again, and another freebie, and here we go. This could be an opportunity again for the top of the order to come in the clutch. You know, all of these batters at the top of the order are so talented. It's just they haven't been able to really string that together as of late, other than the top of the 8th back in McKeon Park yesterday, where we took a 5-1 lead, as the Harborhawks now hold a 5-1 lead. But Christian Knapczyk, who's on the base path, is the only Bourne Brave here today that has crossed home plate. And in the hole will be Braylon Wimmer, who sent Knapczyk home from third off his ground ball to short that wasn't able to be handled by Ball. They counted that as an E6. The lights are on here, and again, this is what I meant by it's going to be hard for the outfielders when the sun is setting. It's still up in the sky just by the horizon behind us. And this twilight glare might be challenging.
Max Anderson digs in. He's 0 for 2 today. Grounded out short, struck out swinging. Anderson was 0 for 3 last night before singling in the 8th inning and later scoring during that big Braves 5-run 8th. He was able to come home on the Braylon Wimmer single to left, in which Hardigan had trouble fielding it, as it easily brought home Knapczyk, but Anderson was right behind him.
This has an eerily similar feel to yesterday's top of the 8th, where Hall couldn't hit the strike zone. This is 5 pitches, 5 balls from Webster.
6 now.
6 now.
Yeah, 2-0. And finds the zone. But yeah, no, it does. Obviously, Hall was unable to find the strike zone. He gave up, well, they had the same batters up too. Knapczyk led off that inning with a walk. I'm sorry, no, it was Lampe led off the inning. He struck out swinging.
And Moylan ended it at the 8th spot.
Yes, and then Knapczyk, who walked, Max Anderson on a full count, singled up the middle. We'll see how similar we can get here. 2-1, not similar enough. As this one skied into right, Clark Elliott is over, battles the sun, makes the catch. And the first Braves out here in the home 6th.
Dalton Rushing will be up. He had a single that moved over his Louisville Cardinal teammate in the same position that we see here. Knapczyk made it all the way from first to third.
Well, you can draw a triangle right now, and you have 3 Louisville Cardinals. You draw one from Rushing at the plate to Knapczyk at first to Webster on the mound.
Boy, did they have one good draft.
Oh, man, they sure did. They started at the top. As Rushing rips another one into right field, a base hit. Hardly hit enough where Knapczyk has to hold on at second. But just as Dalton Rushing did against Webster, Rushing's going to single again off of his counterpart.
Now batting, the left fielder from the University
And here comes
of South
Braylon
Carolina,
Wimmer again.
29, Braylon
Only
Wimmer.
one out here. Again, an opportunity where we need to capitalize. Caden Wallace and Braylon Wimmer, 2 guys that have so much power. A home run ball would be desperately, desperately needed. But again, we're not too far into this game where we're getting desperate. But this is a point in the game where we need to build some traction and build some ground.
First and second. And a called strike on a breaking ball there to Braylon Wimmer. Caden Wallace is on deck. As Wimmer hoping to at least get it to Caden. If not, do more damage. Nothing in one from Webster. That misses high and away. Lights are on here at Bourne Park as we are approaching 7:45 Eastern time. A game that really slowed down thanks to that long top of the 6th. One. That's inside, almost clipped Wimmer, but it misses. 2 balls and 1 strike.
For a team that's so talented like the Braves are, it's tough coming against a team 3 times in a row. It's very MLB-like, as we mentioned many times before, but you get to know the players, you get to know their weaknesses, where you should pitch them, who should pitch against them.
Wimmer cuts through a nice changeup there from Webster. Foul tipped it into the mitt of Pendleton, and the count runs even here. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
So even a team that, like Hyannis, has struggled so much, they're able to figure out a way to win and a way to take the lead. 5-1 here. Hyannis is comfortably ahead with 4 runs. They have certainly had a good strategic approach to this game.
Wimmer lines one into left field. That's going to get down. That is going to roll to the warning track. Coming in to score is Knapczyk. Rushing into third, and Wimmer slides into second. It's an RBI double. And the Braves have a big inning brewing. It is 5-2 now.
2 runners in scoring position. Braylon Wimmer slapping that right towards the left field line, and Hartigan, all he can do is get to it as quick as possible. Caden Wallace up as well. He's known to put up a double as often as Braylon Wimmer, and he is looking to add up 2 more to the Braves' run total. 5-2, and only 1 out against Webster, who really silenced us in the last appearance.
He did indeed. So Wimmer at second, rushing at third, and Wallace calls time at the plate.
We have Saravo to our left, who's grabbing some nachos after his start.
Well, funny enough, I saw Saravo. This is funny. Saw him at Five Guys the other day.
No way.
I did indeed.
What's his order?
Oh, man, he came in after as I was leaving. Or else I would have definitely tracked it down as Wallace sends this one into deep right. Elliott going back. That's going to be over his head. He's able to barehand it. Braylon Wimmer's going to be held up by Harvey Shapiro. Wasn't sure if that ball was going to get caught, but Dalton Rushing comes in and scores. It is an RBI double for Caden Wallace. And the Braves just keep it together at second and third, and now it's 5-3.
Elliott was way out of position there. He was so shallow on that. I wasn't really sure what he was playing. Maybe he was trying to play shallow so that if a grounder got out to him, he could gun someone down at home. But I think everyone at this ballpark thought that was going to be a fly ball to right field, and all I was wondering is if they're going to tag up a third.
I think also Elliott was a little fooled by that sun, which just went behind a cloud as soon as I said it. Second and third, Wallace aboard at second, Wimmer at third, Nick Goodwin to the plate. First pitch from Webster misses high.
The Braves creeping back here. 2 runs is so much more manageable than 4, and we have 2 men in scoring position, so I believe a single or a gapper with the speed of these 2 guys, Braylon Wimmer and Caden Wallace, should send them both in. Harvey Shapiro a bit conservative, though, with his approach to base running. As you saw there, he held up Dalton Rushing, who I thought actually probably had a chance at getting home.
Yeah, Wimmer, who has good speed over there, but we call him Hold'em Harvey for a reason. We were told that from one of the people last night here watching behind the Bourne bench at Hyannis. HH, Hold'em Harvey. But plays it safe, 2-0, and that misses downstairs. And Zach Agnos is on deck. If Goodwin can reach via a walk, the bases would be loaded for the Pirate. He tosses away the batting weight on deck, getting prepped for his next at-bat. We'll see if Harvey Shapiro has the green light on. 3-0. He gave one to Caden Wallace a night ago. A rare green light. I doubt we see one here, and we don't, and it's ball 4. Goodwin will jog on down to first, and Zach Agnos is coming to the plate with the bases loaded.
No movement from the coaching staff. Reeves and I are both looking over to the right field dugout, seeing if the head coach for the HarborHawks will come out, and there he goes. Here we go.
Yeah, we might see a double switch. He's got the lineup card in the hand. Just going to go talk to the umpire. We'll see what he wants to do here. Might bring in a player from the field to come in and pitch is what it seems like he was pointing at. Does Gary Calhoun. Well, definitely seems like we'll get a pitching change. We'll stick around here for just a minute just to tell you.
And there is a man in the HarborHawks bullpen right now warming up. We're not sure exactly what we're going to see here, and Webster's day is done as he slowly hangs his head and walks off the mound.
Yeah, we'll get a call to the bullpen, and with that, we'll take a quick break here from Doran Park and be back right after this. Well, after performing so delightfully a few nights ago, Evan Webster was roughed up by the Braves, and they still have the bases loaded for a new pitcher.
Number 10, Kyle Skidmore.
Here comes Kyle Skidmore. Zach Agnos will be facing him to start things off in a situation where anything could happen. Bases loaded. Braylon Wimmer leading the way.
Yeah, Skidmore from Gardner Webb, another lefty. With the bases full of Braves, Agnos at the plate. And the first pitch, he watches a breaking ball. Dive in for strike one. It is Wimmer at third, Wallace at second, and a Goodwin aboard at first. That walk did create a double play scenario for the Harbor Hawks, who are pinched up the middle at Ball and Romano. 0-1 in the dirt. Good eye from Agnos. Agnos has been all around the Braves lineup this year. We've seen him at the cleanup spot. That was in Orleans. We saw him at the 9 hole a few nights ago. And tonight he's at the 7 spot. You've even seen him in the 5 and 6 hole too. So this is a guy that has been tossed up and down this Braves lineup.
Far and away, his best game came at Eldridge Park against the Orleans Firebirds, where we tied 2-2. He had a double and a triple, which is all over the place. But he's been a bit up and down when it's come to the plate. His performance there, he's either 2 for 4, as I mentioned, or no runs. So he has multi-hit games. When it rains, it pours for Zach Agnos.
A 1-2 count here from Skidmore. And that misses downstairs. Agnos puts up the stop sign over to Wimmer. Braves fans looking to explode. If Agnos can put one in a gap. 2-2 in the dirt, and all of a sudden the count has run full. We've seen nothing but off-speed pitches here from Skidmore. Utilizing the breaking ball, we saw a changeup, but have yet to see the fastball. I'm sure that might be on the front of his mind here, as he needs to throw a strike or in danger of walking a run in. 3-2. Breaking ball, it is down and in, ball 4. It was another curveball. Agnos jogs on down to first. Wimmer comes onto the plate. And Daniel, the nightmare relief scenario for the Harbor Hawks continues.
How about that for Skidmore? And how about that from Agnos? He was down heavily early on, battled back a great eye, and here comes the BC kid, the kid that I root for as a BC alum, Peter Burns, with a bases loaded, one-out situation, a one-run deficit for the home team.
Peter Burns, lefty on lefty, called time as Skidmore was trying to work quick. Now ready to go. First pitch. That's away, 1-0. Braves with 3 on here, bases loaded. They trail by just a run. After the Hawks put up a 3 spot of their own in the top of the 6th, the Braves have added 3 here and are not done yet.
That was his pitch right there. Still got to let him prove to you that Skidmore can throw strikes and throw hittable pitches. So Peter Burns right back in it, starting his at-bat right now after that first strike.
1-1, and a breaking ball gets Burns the chase out of the strike zone, 1-2. Joe Lampe is on deck, but there is a new guy in the on-deck circle. That's Colby Thomas. And I have a feeling that is due to the favorable matchup of a righty-lefty. Don't want Skidmore to face 2 lefties in a row. 1-2. Breaking ball, Burns grounds a second. Double play ball for the Harbor Hawks. Romano to ball, and they cannot make the return throw to first. It'll be an RBI fielder's choice for Burns, and the game is tied.
And the game is tied, and the kid who was a single shy of the cycle is going to be up to the plate in the first game at McKeon Park 2 days ago. That is Colby Thomas, the Mercer Bear, 3 for 4 with a triple, a double, and a home run. He was so close to a bunt single down the third base line 2 days ago, but that was our Monday night game at McKeon Park. Colby Thomas has an opportunity to take the lead.
First pitch called strike from Skidmore. The Braves have put up 4 in the bottom of the 6th, and when Nick was on with me, what seemed like an eternity ago, this has been the longest 6th inning you could imagine. After the game was breezing along, 0-1, and Thomas fouls it off. The guy who just scored in Wallace and the guy at the plate in Colby Thomas, 2 of the more impressive showings of batting practice you could go watch. Let's just put it at that.
And our own Calvin Cristoforo, our sideline reporter, always asked the players of the game who they would take in a home run derby, and Caden Wallace is often the choice, but other than that, Colby Thomas is up there for me.
Yeah, we even asked our own Kevin Graber off the air who he would take, and he said he would take Colby Thomas. Nothing in 2 from Skidmore. Thomas watches that one bounce up. Good stop at the plate by Pendleton. So nothing but off speed from the lefty from Gardner Webb.
Yeah, the velocity hasn't been there, but these batters for the Braves have had to pretty much guess on what they're going to see coming. So a hittable ball here from Skidmore.
A check, and he throws it away. Nick Goodwin is going to come on home. And Peter Burns is going to stay at second, and with 2 strikes, a unbearable mistake for Skidmore.
Yeah, that's unacceptable if you're going to be the Hyannis Harbor Hawks, who have 2 wins on the season. Just can't do that if you're Skidmore. It looked like a lackadaisical throw, or almost like he was trying to catch him off guard by how nonchalant he approached that check at first base, but there goes Peter Burns to second. He even thought about third. I think he might have had it at third, actually.
1-2 here now to Thomas. Breaking ball that he fouls off. Oh, come on, KG. Got to make the play down there, man.
or get your body in front of it, right?
Yeah, oh,
Keep it in
KG
the
with the
infield.
OA. I got to have a talk with KG after this game. He was a middle infielder, too. Kevin Graber, one of the best in the business. Skidmore to Thomas once more. This great crowd has seen a massive Braves comeback. Nick said it true. The Braves can put up 5-run innings, and they've done it in back-to-back nights. And both nights they've done it to take the lead. A 1-run deficit last night, a 4-run deficit tonight that they have erased as Thomas staying alive here. What a comeback again by this offense, Daniel. Can never count this team out.
No, and it's being done at the latter half innings of the game, which is nerve-wracking for us and for the fans, but it makes it more dramatic. As far as Harvey Shapiro is concerned, I'm sure he would like those runs to come earlier, so he has some cushion and some security knowing that you might be able to try out a couple new things or see who belongs where.
Well, Colby Thomas, I believe, was just hit by a pitch. Oh, he gets out of the way of it. And Peter Burns is on his way to third. I thought it got Colby, but it must have gone off the gear of Pendleton behind the plate. 3-2.
Pendleton behind the plate taking over for Proto, the UMass Wool catcher. There's going to be a mound visit with a full count and a man on third with 2 outs. So an interesting call here.
Yeah, it is Gary Calhoun out of the dugout once again. This has been a inning full of mound visits and with a full count. You never really see this. Quite interesting. Pitching change with a full count here to Thomas, but to be frank, Skidmore could not find the strike zone. We will tell you about the new pitcher when we come back here on the Bourne Braves YouTube live stream. Reeves Jackson and Daniel Coates back with you, where the Braves have put up 5 runs and might not be done yet here in the bottom of the 6th inning. They waited until the 8th to do it a night ago. But, Daniel, on the flip side of things, this is a Hyannis Harborhawks team who seems to self-destruct when they have the lead at any given moment.
Yeah, and it starts with that Skidmore throw over to first. A bit nonchalant and a bit too lackadaisical. I was trying to catch Peter Burns napping at first. He's now at third as a result. But Skidmore just could not throw strikes. We're going to have Nolan Crisp on the mound from your University of Georgia.
Yeah, we
the
saw.
Bulldog will be on the mound and trying to clean up this mess of a 5-run bottom of the 6th for the Bourne Braves, and they might not be done yet. A full count and a man on third for Colby Thomas, who is about as red hot as any Bourne Brave in this lineup.
Well, the Braves are one hitter away from batting around in this inning. It was a Christian Knapczyk walk to Evan Webster, the third pitcher of the inning. And to remind you, it is a 3-2 count from Crisp. the pitch. And Colby Thomas lifts a blooper into left. Coming on is Hardigan. He makes the catch. And Nolan Chris just needs one pitch. He threw 3 shutout against the Braves the other night on Monday and gets the one pitch out there to Colby Thomas. But the Braves push across 5 runs in the inning. They do it in a handful of ways as we head to the 7th with the Braves now in the lead at 6-5.
Now batting, the left fielder from Florida Atlantic, number 28, Mitchell Hardigan.
Reeves Jackson back here in the top of the 7th, where I'll turn things over to Daniel Coates.
Thank you, Reeves. It feels like an eternity since I've been back here.
It does.
First pitch right over us, foul. Let's see if a fan can make a play. It drops safely, no one hurt. 0-1 to Xavier Lovett. He let up a couple of runs back in the top of the 6th. Talk about an entertaining 6th inning at Doran Park. 8 runs in total with the 2 combined offenses. 0-1. 1-1 to Xavier Lovett, who just recently announced his transfer to Texas A&M from the national champion program of Mississippi State. So we wish him all the best. And we actually went to McKeon Park not knowing that he announced it yesterday.
Yeah, good for Xavier. Very happy for him.
1-1 check swing from Mitchell Hardigan. One and two ahead is Lovett, who delivers from the stretch with no one on, like he has all season. Mainly seen at the end of these games, almost as a closer or a setup for Eric Adler, and he finishes off the bottom of the order. Mitchell Hardigan, who is 0 for 3 today. Here comes Clark Elliott. He has a single in the 3rd, but other than that, he's been shut out. Strikeout in the 1st, grounder to shortstop in the 5th.
And Xavier Lovett was kind of touched up a little bit last inning. Gave up the double to Caleb Pendleton, and then the RBI double to Pendleton, the 2-run double to Luke Mann. Obviously, 2 of those runs went to Hyannis, so Xavier looking for a bounce-back inning and a good way to start.
First pitch right down the pipe. That fastball is whizzing by the plate from Xavier Lovett. Day quickly turning into night here. A beautiful night. And as hot as it was during the day, Doran Park, it's known when the sun goes down, it drops about 20 degrees. 0-1 slap towards Max Anderson. He can't make the play. It rolls out to Caden Wallace. and Elliott posts another single against the Braves.
Can we get the Hyannis Harborhawks out of town? I mean, Clark Elliott is murdering the ball against us.
The left fielder from the University of Alabama.
My
And
goodness.
And he didn't have crazy stats before he saw
No.
us this past 3 games.
No, 7 hits in the past 3 games. Dude has to be batting over 700 against the Braves in the past 3. A 3-hit game on Monday, 2-hit game yesterday, 2-hit game today.
Clark Elliott on first. Showing bunt, pulling back though, did a catch. First base umpire says he didn't go. Another interesting call. It was very close,
Yeah,
and
it
I
was
thought it was
close.
also close to being a called strike. That's a good-looking breaking ball, though, from Xavier Lovett. 1-0. This is to the 2-spot, Caden Rose from Alabama. Going is Elliott. A dribbler towards Lovett. He can't handle it, falls down. And that is a infield single coming in as Nick Goodwin can't get it done off a little squibber right by Xavier Lovett, who I think was taken off guard by how slow it was coming at him. Almost like a changeup right back at him.
Yes.
A taste of his own medicine.
Yeah, right, absolutely. But Nick Goodwin almost made an incredible play.
Well, men on first and second, and the offenses have truly come alive here as the sun has gone down. 1 out, top of the 7th. And the 3-spot hitter, Kyle Ball, who scored in the 4th and singled, 1 for 3 today, will be in the batter's box. Taken right back and waking up our camera.
Yes. Hello. Ring the doorbell there.
0-1 count with 1 out. A double play ball pending, and I know that might jinx things, but I just can't help but say it. Especially with Nick Goodwin and Christian Knapczyk pinching the second base right now.
We'll take it for us, though.
0-1. That breaking ball kept in front of Peter Burns. A good job back there from the Boston College Eagle. 1-1, 1 out. The Braves storm back in the bottom of the 6th with 5 runs. 6-5 is your score. The Braves also storming back in the hit column. 8-5, they have the advantage. Pulling back. Excuse me, 8-5. The Harborhawks have the advantage. 1-1. Swing and a miss. What a pitch. An explosive third pitch there from Xavier Lovett has him ahead. The crowd really feeling it. Lovett is facing pressure early from the Harborhawks, who are not afraid to swing the bat here today, Reeves.
No, they're not. They're free swinging, Daniel. They are lacing the ball all over the place.
1-2. Pulling off, and at second now, Clark Elliott, speedy at the top of the order, really distracting Xavier Lovett on the mound. He's pulled off a couple of times here. Kyle Ball still awaiting the 1-2. High fly ball, Caden Wallace right underneath it. Elliott not tagging just yet. He retreats after a routine fly ball to right field. The Razorback secures the second out, and the new Aggie battles back with 2 base runners.
Now batting, the first baseman from Wright State University, number 33, Zane Harris.
And Zane Harris scored back in the 6th. This is his 4th appearance of the day. He is 0 for 2. He walked in the 6th and scored. He has a man in second, and first scoring position is Clark Elliott. Great pitch catching the outside corner. That is exactly where you want it with a fastball as a pitcher. 0-1. A Western Division game under the lights. The Braves looking to sweep and take all 3, 2 of which were held at McKeon Park. The finale here tonight at Doran Park in Bourne. Check swing. Did he go? They say he did. 0-2 and an opportunity to leave 2 Harbor Hawks on base. This would be huge, Reeves, for Xavier Lovett and this Braves team to leave this inning with a win. With a win.
Yeah.
With a lead, I should say. I would like to leave here with a win.
Would be gigantic. Let's go, Xavier.
Well, he has the opportunity here against Zane Harris. 0-2. Elliott with a good lead. Flare into left field. I'm not sure if it will stay fair. It's foul and bounces out of play. 0-2 it remains. Harris stays alive. On deck is Caleb Pendleton, who only has 2 hits on the season, both of which have come against the Braves in this 3-game stretch. It started with a home run in the first game, and he was responsible for all 3 runs. That was a 3-run blast to left center, and he also has a double here today. The 0-2 battled the other way. It's going to be foul. 2 foul balls slapped down the left field line. Zane Harris not going down without a fight. The crowd here really hasn't subsided at all. It's been one fun game here in Bourne, Massachusetts. Another Cape Cod League game. We're right smack dab in the center and in the heart of our season, and the Braves have not slowed down since their hot start. And Marco, the pitching coach, coming out to have a word. Only one more pitch would do it for Zane Harris.
Well, I think this might be a good time, Daniel.
Can I introduce it?
Introduce it.
Our own general manager had a word with Reeves. He mentioned on, I believe it was Monday night when the home run derby was being held, that I said Pete Alonso, obviously a Bourne Brave alum, should be in the conversation to win this. Reeves mentioned pretty much everyone except
Pete Alonso was going to win. Yeah, Darren Weeks.
So Darren Weeks requested that Reeves sings "Call Me Maybe," at least four lines of it. So we're going to do that right now.
Darren Weeks, this is for you, my friend. Hey, I just met you, and this is crazy, but here's my number, so call me maybe. It's hard to look right at you, baby, but here's my number, so call me maybe.
Nice.
Daniel, thank you for joining me, Daniel. That is great.
You killed that.
Thank you, Daniel.
It reminds me of if you remember the Harvard baseball dance they did in the van. Yeah.
Darren, that's for you, my friend.
0-2, and Xavier Lovett must have heard us. He misses outside, 1-2. Peter Bourne still behind the plate. 2 outs. Marco just wanted to have a word, the pitching coach. He's back in the dugout. Clark Elliott still on second. Behind him, Caden Rose. The delivery. Slapped right up the middle. Clark Elliott going around third. Thinking about home. He's going home. Can't handle it in center. First and third situation. The Harbor Hawks have their man coming home. That's Rose, and he scores. They take the lead off of some miscommunication in center field. And the Harbor Hawks score off of a Zane Harris RBI single. Brings in 2. Clark Elliott, Caden Rose cross, and it is 7-6. The Harbor Hawks storm back and take the lead with 2 outs.
Oh, man, just some trouble out there for Colby Thomas. That ball was just a normal single up the middle. Colby, who couldn't glove it, and it's going to be an E8. Colby Thomas could not glove it cleanly, and he kept trying to pick up the ball with his glove, and it was at least 2 times where the ball just couldn't get into his glove, and then Caden Rose, who was sliding into third, ended up coming home, seeing Thomas having trouble picking up the ball in center. That hurts for the Braves. The tie game is manageable now. A 1-run deficit is going to be a little more difficult.
Caleb Pendleton to the plate now. And an E8 is not something you want. Breaking ball in the dirt, especially as the reason that the scales might be tipped at the moment. 7-6, the Harbor Hawks are on the road and have posted well over their most amount of runs against the Braves, and that was 3 in their 3-6 loss on Monday night. 1-1. That one drops right off the table. 1-2. How about that at bat from Zane Harris? Had a handful of foul balls.
Yeah.
And eventually slapped one up the middle between Knapczyk and Goodwin and out of reach from Xavier Lovett. 1-2 here with 2 outs. Another line drive to center. This is Colby Thomas coming in. Can he grab it? No, it goes off his ankle. Here comes the base runner for the Hyannis Harborhawks. He stays at third, and Harris remains in scoring position. And just some sloppy play out there, and the pitching getting away from Xavier Lovett. The Harborhawks and their aggressive batting has been the difference here today. Luke Mann steps in, 2 outs with men in first and third.
Yeah, Hyannis with that single and E8 out in center. Ooh, that's a tough E8 on Colby Thomas. I'm not sure I agree with that. That was a low-lining sinker. He tried to make the catch on it. Just ultimately kicked off either his heel or his glove. I think it's a little harsh, but.
Well, and you already put it down as a single.
I did. Oh, it's going to go as a single and an E8.
Interesting.
I believe. Maybe I'm wrong.
Right.
Maybe I'm wrong, actually, Daniel. I'll have to go check on that after this inning.
Well, we'll check for you at home. A half-check swing from Luke Mann, the designated hitter.
But I was going to say, with that base hit, the Hyannis has now had their highest run total on the season. 6 was their previous high. 7, the most runs they've put up in any game this season here today.
Well, a 2-run lead would be really tough to overcome, especially with only 9 outs to play with for the Braves offense. 0-1. Just missing outside, a high-velocity fastball. A silenced crowd here at Bourne. Feels like all the energy has been sucked out. Some claps coming from our left. Luke Mann has a first and third situation. At third is Zane Harris. Caleb Pendleton at first. High fly ball. Looks like it's going Caden Wallace's way. He slowly tracks it and finishes things in a sloppy top of the 7th. The Hyannis Harborhawks score 2 and take a 7-6 lead. The Braves looking to defend home turf and Doran Park. They trail by 1. To the bottom of the 7th we go. My name's Daniel Coates. Alongside me, Reeves Jackson. We got a good one here at home. The man who went 3 innings against the Bourne Braves on Monday night at McKeon Park is back on the mound for the 2nd inning. For the Hyannis Harborhawks, we have the top of the order here, Christian Knapczyk, who has scored in the last 2 appearances to the plate.
Yeah, got something to tell you in between innings. Our scoreboard operator, Michael Skinnion, came up to us and let us know that our official score changed the second Colby Thomas error to a base hit, just like we had thought it should have been. So overruled it, and it was a good change. So a single for Hyannis to unconsequentially, though. They did not give them any more runs.
1-2 on the day. Knapcheck against the Georgia Bulldog, who misses high and outside for ball one, 1-0. On deck, as always, Max Anderson. Behind him, Dalton Rushing. Needs some production here. 2 straight balls, and with only single-digit outs left to play with, Reeves, and 3 more potential opportunities, this is an inning that is crucial if the Braves want to leave here with a win.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Obviously, with 3 more chances and you got the top of the order, you feel comfortable about what the Braves can do, but you're against a guy in Nolan Crisp who arguably one of their best relievers out of the bullpen. So it all starts with getting the leadoff man aboard. So hopefully Knapcheck can find his way on. 2-2 count. This is a guy who's not going to issue free passes. He's going to throw strikes, so you're not going to get the chance that you did back in that 5-run 6th when you got free pass after free pass until the Braves finally got some hits. But you're going to have to come out swinging against this guy.
2 foul balls have resulted in 2 strikes for Crisp. The delivery. Full count now drifts too far upstairs. Bottom 7. Creeping towards crunch time at Doran Park. A payoff pitch from Crisp. And that catches Knapcheck inside for ball number 1.
Well, what do I know?
Ball number 4, I should say.
What do I know?
And he does give a free pass, Reeves.
Hey, I'm glad I'm wrong, though. I'll take it. Back-to-back walks for Knapcheck. He scored on the last time.
And he's the tying run now on base with no outs. Crisp will go into the stretch against Anderson. And that breaking ball catches. Anderson on the day has been quiet, 0 for 3. He flew out to right field in his last appearance. And that was at the beginning of that bottom of the 6th that actually ended up resulting in 5 runs for the Braves.
Yes.
And Anderson, a guy who's coming into this game with the highest average on the team, has been uncharacteristically
quiet,
shut down at the 2 spot.
Yeah, he has been. Yep.
1-2 now.
See if he takes it the other way to that right side.
And that is a frozen rope to center field. Going back is Rose, and he snags it at the warning track, holds himself, and Knapcheck has to retreat to first base.
I've never seen someone, at least in their first few games, get more unlucky with hard-hit line drives to center and right. Just peppers that ball, as KG talks about being on the right side of the ball, and Anderson does that better than almost anybody on the team, and he just does not have the luck to show for it.
That's about as hard hit a ball as you're going to see. Caden Rose tracks it beautifully, almost like a deep ball in football. He just snagged it by the warning track and was in perfect stride. We've seen a lot of him defensively in center field. Dalton Rushing takes over, and actually, in a way, it's a good sign, I guess. And there we go, Dalton Rushing. Will Christian Knapcheck go to third? No, he stays at second. But that is Dalton Rushing's 3rd hit on the game, and he adds to his impressive average.
Man,
and I was going to say, actually, that might be a good sign about Max Anderson, because the last time that he flew out,
yes,
we posted 5, and the last time, Rushing came in and singled after. So, hey, catch the trends, baby. Catch the trends.
Dalton Rushing is lacing the ball today. All 3 of his hits have been roped.
2 Cardinals on base. Braylon Wimmer at the plate. Chops it foul. Only 1 out, and this, again, if you're the Braves, is an opportunity that you need to take advantage of. With 2 men on base and 1 in scoring position, a speedy Knapcheck means that a gapper should send him home, but as you said, hold Harvey Shapiro.
Yes.
What is it? Is it hold Harvey Shapiro?
Hold him Harvey.
Hold him Harvey. 2 foul balls from Wimmer.
HH.
0-2 quickly to Wimmer on deck. Caden Wallace, who doubled in his last appearance. That was just an inning ago. 1 out against Nolan Crisp, the Bulldog who went 3 innings against these Braves on Monday. Chop to third, handled beautifully. Could they double him up? No, Braylon Wimmer battles down to first, but they do catch Dalton rushing at second. Greer, an easy play for him. I thought he might have tried to go for the leading runner in Knapczyk, but he decides to opt and sling it over to second base. They can't get Wimmer at first, though, for the double play.
Yeah, I thought he might have had a chance to get Wimmer, who runs very well. But now here's Caden Wallace with a chance to tie this game up here in the home half of the 7th inning.
Knapczyk has to be on his toes because a pass ball or a wild pitch could score him as well. Breaking ball high and inside. Wallace doubled in his last appearance. I should say this is Agnos, and Agnos walked in his last appearance. Swing and a miss. So Wallace on the day, struck out in the second, grounded to third base and doubled in the 6th, trying to respond to that here in the bottom of the 7th. Nick Goodwin on deck. 1-1. Laser down the third base line, foul though. Knapczyk had to jump out of the way. He is patrolling the third base line right now, looking for any opportunity to cross home plate. Time called by the home plate umpire. Caden Wallace with a prime opportunity to knot this game up for the Braves that have been efficient in the base path as well as at the plate. But the Harbor Hawks have come in holding back absolutely nothing. And they have the lead here by 1. Swing and a miss from Wallace, and they strand Knapczyk at first. And that will not replicate the bottom of the 6th that we saw just a handful of minutes ago. And again, the Harbor Hawks do have the lead now. It is 7-6, but in the bottom of the 6th, we had a 5-run inning, Reeves, and it has been impressive stuff from the Hyannis Harbor Hawks, who only have 2 wins on the season, and they're in a position now with 1 run and only 2 innings to go, where if they just hold on, they could come away with their 3rd win, and it would be a disappointing loss for the Braves.
Yeah, it would be, especially after you battle back and score the host of 5 runs that you did in that inning. By the way, I feel like I was just Chris Collinsworth with the
Come
slide
on in. Come on in.
We were going to send it down to Calvin Cristoforo, but for some reason might have had some technical.
He was playing engineer.
Yes, yeah, might have had some technical difficulties down there. So obviously, back to the game, obviously, as it looks like Dylan Bowers from Northern Colorado got to take over here for the Braves.
Who we last saw against Chatham
Yes.
in Chatham on Sunday night.
Yeah, didn't allow a run, issued a walk and a base hit, but Bowers, big old 260-pounder, throws downhill. But going back to the complexion and the way this game has gone for the Braves, obviously a big chance there, but Wallace strikes out. 2 more chances. Hopefully Bowers can keep this game within a run, but this has been a Hyannis team all game that has smacked the ball to all fields. And it's probably been their best offensive game of the year. I did mention it's the most runs they've scored all season. So
double-digit hits.
Yeah,
on the day.
10 hits on the day. So, but this is the Braves offense that they experienced it last night, coming back down by a run in the 8th inning. Hopefully the story can write itself the same.
Well, hopefully the story can write itself the same, and the Braves can come back after a 1-run deficit right now. We're going to be going to the top of the 8th. Bowers from Northern Colorado will be on the mound. And Peter Burns will be behind the plate. And defensively, we've put up a good game. There was an error out in center field from Colby Thomas. But other than that, the Braves came to hit, and so too did the Hyannis Harbor Hawks. A handful of different Harbor Hawks pitchers. The Braves were on top of them. But again, as we saw in that last half inning, leaving men stranded on base has plagued them. It's not necessarily the problem is getting to scoring position. It's bringing those runners down the third base line.
Yeah, absolutely. And hopefully, you can fix those woes when you get to the 8th inning. Obviously, the Braves, when you score 6 runs, it was just that they've been capitalizing, as you've mentioned so well, Daniel, they've had big innings. They put up crooked numbers. They do that better than any other team in the Cape. So obviously now here with Dylan Bowers on the mound, you got to keep this game within 1 run. That is so important because it gives the offense a prime chance to come back over the course of the final 2 innings.
Dylan Bowers takes over in the top of the 8th. Ryan Romano from Florida State, second base for the Harbor Hawks. 0 for 3 on the day. Bowers misses high and inside. We saw him against the Chatham Anglers on Sunday.
We did indeed. Hopefully looking for the same inning and the same success he had last time.
Romano slaps one. Will that be fair? They call it foul, just foul. Whizzing by Zach Agnos on the chalk. It rolls in favor of the Braves, 1-1.
Yeah, you know Dylan Bowers is out there breathing a sigh of relief after that one. Goodness gracious.
As well as Zach Agnos, because that was as close as you're going to get with a call from a third base umpire.
Yeah, without a doubt. Yeah, Bowers 1 inning. He had the 1 hit, 1 walk. Didn't strike anybody out.
1-1 breaking ball, misses high, 2-1.
I'm sorry, he had 2 strikeouts. 2 strikeouts, pardon me.
Stepping off, and Bowers facing Romano. And the Harbor Hawks for the first time. A 2-1 count to Romano, who has struggled offensively as of late. 3-1. Don't want to give him any more opportunities than he deserves.
Yeah, this is Bowers, who had great strikeout numbers at Northern Colorado. We mentioned it when we introduced him on, what night was that at Chatham?
Was it Sunday night?
It was Sunday night, yes. So when we introduced him at Chatham, didn't issue 46 walks for the Bears, so needs to cut down on those walk numbers. The strikeout numbers were there. Dude is those 92, 93, and as big of a frame as he is, it's tough to hit him sometimes, but hopefully doesn't issue a walk here, as that's sometimes been his downfall.
Bowers might be thanking Romano there after his fastball was taken foul, a payoff pitch. Another foul ball.
Yeah, Bowers is just simply challenging Romano here. He's saying, here it is. I'm throwing it in the strike zone. If you can hit it, good. If you can't, well, sorry. Not trying to mess around here with 3 balls.
Full count, and from the stretch again, Bowers, the Northern Colorado Bear. Swing and a miss, and there goes the bat. Whew. Thank God our Bourne Braves bat boy is okay, and they have that net there, but Romano goes down swinging and flinging.
I like that, swinging and flinging. That's the first time this year we've seen not a broken bat, but a bat just simply fly out of one of the hitter's hands.
You know what? I was thinking, I think we saw one
we did.
other.
We did. You're right.
I don't remember which.
It was here, though.
But
I remember it went
here.
off the net. It went off the net up there.
Yes.
Yeah, you're right.
I don't know why. I had that weird hunch that we did see that before.
You're right, Daniel.
Swing and a miss from another Hyannis Harbor Hawk, Mason Greer. So a good start from Bowers. 0-1.
Oh, that's a good pitch.
Oh, that was a good spot. I'm sure that's right where Bowers wanted it. No movement from the glove of Peter Burns. Just a tough call from the home plate umpire. 1-1. It's knotted. The Braves faithful has stayed in their spots and in their lawn chairs. 1-1. High fly ball, center field. Going back is Thomas towards the warning track, towards the fence, and he snags it just before he gets to the chain link fence, and the sign's out in center field. Out number 2, Bowers, the Northern Colorado Bear, has been pitching well, and you're exactly right, Reeves. He's throwing it where it's hittable and just saying, you know what, if you hit this, I have a great defense behind me, and if you don't, I'm going to face you head on and give you a hittable ball, and I'm going to just throw gas down the middle.
Yeah.
breaking ball way high.
Yeah, we saw that with Bowers the last time at Chatham. He threw just one breaking ball, and it looked very similar to that one.
He was most certainly more comfortable with the heater. Mitchell Hardigan at the plate. The 9 spot, and on deck, Clark Elliott. 1-1 after that one is taken just behind and right towards us. A beautiful night here. It started as hot and humid. I know you're used to that, Reeves, coming from down south there in Atlanta, hot Atlanta.
Yes.
1-1.
Although, if you're from Atlanta and you call it hot Atlanta, people make fun of you. But
is that a telltale sign that they're not from there?
Correct.
Gotcha.
Correct. So, that makes sense, though.
2-1. Another foul ball, 2-2. That's kind of like for Boston.
I was just about to ask you that.
It's like if you make fun of the Boston accent, you know you're really not from. Like
yes,
you say,
just like I do.
I'm gonna park the car.
Yeah, just like I've done plenty of times.
We've heard it so many times now. It's,
sorry, Daniel.
It gets old. I'm sure Hotlanta gets old as well. It's always funny though hearing that. 2-2. Another foul ball here from Mitchell Hardigan. Hardigan coming into today, 176 batting average on the season. However, he is 0 for 3 on the day, so not helping his case there. And a Hyannis Harbor Hawks team who, if 2 wins doesn't tell you the story, their batting averages tell you the story. Almost all of them, other than I believe 5, are under the 200 mark for their batting average.
Yeah, and no one above really 230, except for Clark Elliott.
And a half-hearted swing does it off of Colin Bowers' fastball inside to the bottom of the order. The Braves have a chance in the bottom of the 8th to add runs and take over this game. They face a 1-run deficit. We have arrived at the bottom of the 8th, and the Braves have 6 outs to play with if they want to leave with a draw or a win. Luke Mann, the designated hitter for the Hyannis Harbor Hawks, has now dropped the bat and picked up the glove and the ball and will be pitching right now. 1-0 against Nick Goodwin now.
Their own Shohei Ohtani.
Yeah.
4 RBIs at the plate, and now comes on to try to maybe potentially shut the door at least for the 8th inning. against the 6, 7, and 8 hitters, Goodwin, Agnos, and Burns. Luke Mann has been crushing the baseball tonight. He had that home run over the foul pole and right.
1 and 2, I should say. That was just hitting the corner. And actually, Luke Mann on the day, he had a homer in the second, a single in the fourth, a double in the sixth, and he flew out to right back in the seventh. 1 and 2 turns to 2 and 2. A breaking ball in the dirt.
Almost
so impressive
good one.
stuff.
Yeah, very impressive stuff. Almost hit Nick Goodwin there. That would have been a big base runner to start this inning off.
Chopped breaking ball foul. Nick Goodwin coming into today for the Braves. Often seen at the bottom of the order. He's more in the middle with a 6th spot right now. 3:08 coming into today. Swing and a miss. Mann not skipping a beat and continues his success from the batter's box to the pitching mound.
Number 17, Luke Mann.
Here comes Zach Agnos, the third baseman. He walked in his last appearance, but 0-2 for the day. A fly out to right in the third, and in the fifth, a ground ball to his own position at third. Luke Mann is red hot for the Harbor Hawks. Right down the middle for strike one. And you're exactly right, Reeves. It's almost like their own Shohei Ohtani.
Yes. Yes, indeed. Just like our own Reggie Crawford.
2 pitches and 2 strikes. Luke Mann is dealing at the moment. 0-2. Agnos looking to get something going to help his average on the season. Time called. On deck, Peter Burns. That one drifts high. Good eye just whizzes by the eyes of Zach Agnos.
Yeah, need to hopefully get a base runner here. If not, the Braves destined to have the top of the order up in the 9th inning.
2 breaking balls drift upstairs, 2-2. A quiet night here, not a huge breeze, but it has moved from helping out a right field hit to a left field hit now. 2-2. And that's a looking strikeout. Zach Agnos does not agree, but it catches high and outside. Luke Mann starts things off with 2 strikeouts.
Yeah, pitch definitely seemed high and outside to me. But with 2 strikes, you know, umpire strike zones. As Nick said, I'm not a guy who really complains about umpires too much, although I may seem like I do. But you got to protect there. There's no excuse. You got to protect there.
First pitch to Burns, low and outside. Burns on the day popped out in the third, got on base both in the 5th and the 6th. A pop fly. Looks like Mann will field this by the bump. He calls everyone off and gets the 3rd out of the game. Luke Mann is the man for the Harbor Hawks today. And the Braves have a 1-run deficit and are facing a 9th inning at Doran Park where they're going to have to battle back once again, hoping that we can get some sort of offense going. And looking back to the bottom of the 6th where we put up 5 runs, Calvin, what makes this team tick in a way that they both roll off of each other and put up those big numbers in those half innings?
You know, Daniel, I don't know what that is. The only thing I can tell you is that's baseball. Look, the saying goes, hitting is contagious. You get 1 hit, you get 2 hits, you get 3 hits. That's how you get 5-run innings. Thank you, Braylon. And so 5-run inning last night, 5-run inning again tonight. The bats are together in unity, and then other times they're not. That's why you get innings with zeros in a row like there was last night, 7 straight zeros, a couple of innings this game with zeros. So the Braves don't need any more. They just need 2 runs to win this game. The Braves don't need another 5-run inning. Just 2 will do if they want to win this game.
Well,
Take it
thank
away,
you.
Reeves.
Thank you, Daniel. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it, my friend.
And
Well,
thank you, Calvin,
yes,
as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, Calvin made a good point about the Braves. When they put up runs, they put it up in crooked ways. And, well, Daniel, we don't need a crooked number per se in the ninth. We'd love two, obviously. I guess that's kind of a crooked number. It's not straight. But,
Yeah.
but I mean, one would tie the game, obviously. But two would give the Braves the win. So at least, though, with the Braves' final chance offensively, hope to come away with at least a tie.
Most certainly, and Eric Adler is just the guy to help us in the pursuit of a victory or a draw here. Down by one, Eric Adler has not let up a run in his 7 games appeared in. The Demon Deacon has dominated when he gets on the mound. He is the premier closer for this team. Him and Tristan Vreeling kind of go hand in hand, but Tristan Vreeling looking more towards a relief or even starting role as the Bourne Braves bullpen has been depleted by the MLB draft.
Yeah, obviously, Vreeling was extended really long. Obviously, he faced 12 batters, 4 innings. But Adler's the guy who's really just going to be 1 inning. He's going to be a shorter relief guy. That's what we see him here. But Harvey Shapiro calling on Eric Adler here just to slam the door here in the ninth and get this Braves offense back up to the plate in just a 1-run game, in which when you come back, you're going to have 9-1-2, Colby Thomas, Christian Knapczyk, and Max Anderson. So you got to love your chances with 3 of the more productive guys in the order.
Yeah, you do, and that's exactly the way I would want it. Maybe Colby Thomas coming in, pinch hitting for, taking the spot for Joe Lampe, and then Christian Knapczyk, Max Anderson, and Dalton Rushing. And Rushing might have an opportunity to, hit one in. He is red hot today. He has 3 singles. So we get to the hot Dalton Rushing. This is a whole new ball game, but it starts defensively and on the mound here with Eric Adler, who I would want no one else on the mound if I wanted to keep the Harbor Hawks at 7 runs.
Yeah, absolutely agreed. Adler making his final warm-up tosses. Adler will face the top of this Braves order. Top of this Harbor Hawks order for the Braves defensively. Trying to keep them at bay. He'll face Elliott, who's been red hot, Caden Rose, Kyle Ball. 1, 2, and 3 before the Braves will battle back and look to hopefully tie, or, Daniel, if they're able to push across more than 1, would be potentially the first walk-off win of the season if they're able to do that.
Now pitching for the Braves from Wake Forest University, number 7, Eric
So Adler on the mound, and here comes Clark Elliott. 2 for 4 today and 7 hits in the past 3 games against these Braves.
Clark Elliott is not the one who I want to start it off. That's why he's at the 1 spot. He has 2 hits on the day. Eric Adler looking to keep it that way.
This one spoiled out of play. First pitch there to Elliott, a fastball from Adler.
What's turned into a quick game is elongated to one of our longer games, almost hitting the 3-hour mark.
Yes, it has, thanks to that 6th inning.
That was about an hour long, I would want to say. We had Nick Galley on for quite some time. This is the battle of the best between the batters for the Hyannis Harbor Hawks and our pitching staff, and Adler knots it up.
That one fouled back. Still 1 and 2. Look at the kids chasing it up on the concrete wall.
Adler's fastball sits in the mid-90s, so probably the fastest velocity, if not Josh Eknes that we've seen today, but one of, if not for sure, the fastest fastball and velocity in the bullpen now, especially with the departure of Reggie Crawford.
Braves trailing 7-6. It's 1 and 2 here on Clark Elliott. Adler looking to neutralize him here. This one is lifted. This is playable. Zach Agnos backs up into shallow left, but it's going to be Braylon Wimmer who calls off. Agnos fights the lights and records the first out for the Braves and Demon Deacon closer.
Yeah, good start for Eric Adler. Get that first out and get down the best batter on this team, especially over the last 3 games.
Here's Caden Rose, 2-hole hitter. who singled his last time and scored on the air in center by Colby Thomas. Colby is shading Caden to the right side of the second base bag. And now he goes more towards the middle and towards the left as he squares up. And a beautiful breaking ball that just misses off the plate.
How about the movement on that? I'm not sure if the video camera does justice, but that thing dropped completely off its original plane.
1 ball and no strikes. It is completely dark and pitch black here at Doran. 1-0. As I mentioned, when the Braves are due up, they will have Colby Thomas, Christian Knapczyk, and Max Anderson. And if you're able to get one of those guys on, Daniel, without grounding into a double play after that, boy, oh boy, the ever-hot Dalton Rushing will be at the plate.
And I think that's the goal. You have to get to Dalton Rushing. He's feeling it today. 3 for 4, had that strikeout in the fourth, but other than that, I should say, got out in the first inning, and other than that, he has been red hot for the Braves.
2-1 here from Adler. Is chopped foul to the right side. Well, the crowd that initially came, obviously not as big as the start of this game, but not many people have left from what we had initially. You see it on your screen right there from the third base camera angle.
And this is one of, if not the most entertaining game that we've had here at Doran Park.
2-2 swing and a miss. Strike 3. Adler takes care of Caden Rose on strikes. And there's 2 down here for Kyle Ball.
And we have the opportunity for a special ending, and I think that's the reason why the audience hasn't subsided. But this is, again, like I was saying, if not the most exciting game, one of, as far as just being close, battling back, dropping the lead, and 16 hits in total will keep the crowd in their seats.
Yeah, along with 13 runs. First pitch here to Ball. He's tardy on a fastball. Don't have the exact velo, obviously, here at Doran Park, at least from our booth, but got to guess Adler was 95-96 where he was on Monday night when he got the save against the Harbor Hawks and a 6-3 win. Last night, Shadoba finished the deal 4 scoreless. 0-1. Beautiful pitch there from Adler. Count now at 0-2. Trying to get this Braves team up here in the bottom of the ninth, trailing just by a run. Adler fires. Breaking ball called. Strike 3. It'll be 9-1-2 for the Braves, looking to mount a comeback when we come back.
Going home.
Daniel Coates, baby, you Belton Joker and the Thief. That is the song. That's the song that these Braves players want when they are down against the ropes. That's actually the song that was playing when the next batter, Colton Bender, hit a homer to tie the game against the Harwich Mariners.
The crowd out there is Lucky to have us sing 2 different songs tonight.
Yes, tonight's the night of our vocal performance. Anyways, it is Luke Mann in for his second inning here. He'll have Colby Thomas, Christian Knapczyk, and Max Anderson. And it's 2-0. Braves would love a leadoff walk to get a base runner aboard.
Again, an excellent opportunity for a special finish here tonight, especially against a Western Division team.
2-0, that is going to find the zone with the fastball. 2-1. Braves would love a sweep rather than taking 2 out of the last 3 versus Hyannis, especially a team with just 2 wins. That one high, 3-1.
Prime opportunity here for Colby Thomas, and not just that, but just to get 4 games, especially with the opening win against Hyannis, and put up that 4-0 record against our team from just down the street will be huge.
3-1. Colby Thomas swinging, but he just missed, it looks like. Deep into left. That ball still carrying, though, to the warning track, and he drops the ball. Colby Thomas on his way to third, and he's going to stand up safely. Mitchell Hardigan with a huge mistake. He's still hands on his knees out and left. It was looking to be the first out of the inning, and it goes off of his glove on the warning track.
Oh my goodness. What a stroke of luck. Colby Thomas absolutely demolished that ball. I thought you were quick to call him off on that, because everyone in the Braves dugout stood up and was eagerly on the edge of their seat waiting to see how that fell, and it just fell right from Hardigan.
Knapczyk swings at a high fastball, 0-1. At first glance, Daniel, I thought, to be completely honest with you, he just got too far under it, and then the ball just kept carrying and carrying and carrying, and although the trajectory was as high as it was, that ball was ripped by Colby.
Makes it an easier job for Christian Knapczyk here.
And Christian Knapczyk lines one into left center field, a base hit. And we are tied here in the bottom of the 9th.
How about that? We get away without dropping another one in the loss column. Colby Thomas comes in. He's the tying run, 7-7. Max Anderson at the plate, and looks like no signs of stopping from the Braves. The speedy Knapczyk at first, that is. Max Anderson with another opportunity. And how about that Hardigan's mistake out in left field? The Braves are not going to drop one in this 3-game span against the Harbor Hawks.
And they're not done yet, looking to win this game tonight. This one in the dirt, 1-0. Luke Mann is shaking on the mound right now. Mitchell Hardigan, as much as you're happy for the Braves, Daniel, you feel for a kid in that scenario who is trying to do everything to get his team a win, but can't go right for Hyannis. Anderson watches one miss high. Rushing on deck, followed by Braylon Wimmer. Braves looking for their first walk-off win of 2021. Called strike.
Yeah, I think that was a good call. It just was high and outside and caught Anderson by surprise. Anderson has to dig back in and get himself back into the mindset that he has to be a hitter here, because I think if you let Mann start figuring out the strike zone, that's where things get a bit wary for the Braves. Again, like Colby Thomas and one of the coaches over to our left said, be a hitter.
2-1. Fouled off by Anderson. It looked like an off-speed pitch that he was just out in front of. The Big Ten Freshman of the Year from Nebraska made his way up here to the Cape. That's some high praise for a guy who's really been featured in the lineup every single day in the 2 spot since then. 2-2. Anderson pokes one to right. That chases Elliott back, where he camps under it and makes the catch for the first out here of the 9th.
That one kept drifting too. I thought we might see a replica over there at right field, but Elliott sure-handed in the outfield. Here comes the guy I've been talking about, and the guy who I wanted as the objective for this inning. Just get to him. He's 3 for 4 on the day, 3 for 3 in his last 3 appearances. And he has his teammate and college teammate at first, who could potentially make it all the way to third, maybe even home, depending on a hit from Dalton Rushing.
First pitch, breaking ball, misses low. Well, if anyone can provide a stroke of power and send one out of the ballpark, well, this is the guy that can do it. As they quickly check on Knapczyk. Something the Braves can't do is run themselves into and out on the base paths. Got to be careful if you're Knapczyk over there at first. Trust Dalton Rushing to win this game potentially. At least get on. 1-0, misses away. And you know Luke Mann and Hyannis here trying to be very careful with the Louisville Cardinal slugger. Maybe trying to send his college teammate home from first. 2-0. Rushing wanted all of that one. That skied back to us here. It is coming right on the other side of the deck. Daniel, we were ready.
I was ready for it. That came off the bat so quick that for a second I thought it was a home run.
Yeah, same here, same here. Dalton was trying to end the game.
And then it actually just went behind. It went so quickly into the sky, I was about to give my best home run call. Unbelievable. It speaks to the power of Dalton Rushing.
2-1. And a check on Christian Knapczyk, and just gets back. Whew, Daniel.
It was close.
Too close.
Too close is right.
Two balls and a strike. In the dirt, Knapczyk with the dirt ball read, heading to second, and he's safe there with a slide. And now a base hit would likely bring in Knapczyk.
That is a huge, huge mistake, not only just from Mann on the mound, but also Pendleton. Now they have a man in scoring position, Christian Knapczyk, up there with Joe Lampe in speed, and Dalton Rushing, their best batter, who I believe will be heading down to first now. And Braylon Wimmer, who is known for his clutch RBIs on the season, will be the next batter. So not a good formula concocting out here for the Harbor Hawks. There's going to be a pinch runner, I believe.
That's Tanner Schobel.
Tanner Schobel will be taking over. The Cardinal, and behind him is the Hokie. One man in scoring position, one on first.
From Virginia Tech University, number 27, Tanner Schobel.
So Tanner Schobel will pinch run for Dalton Rushing as they try to set up the double play opportunity for Braylon Wimmer. He reached on a fielder's choice, and they're trying to turn a ground ball double play his last time at the plate, and he watches the first slider miss away. So although that runner at first doesn't mean anything as far as trying to score him, one run at second and Knapczyk wins it, Tanner Schobel could do a plethora of things as far as breaking up a double play with extra speed. He's a better base runner too. 1-0. Wimmer skies this one. In shallow right, out is Romano. He drifts back and makes the catch for out number 2. And the final hope tonight will lie with the Arkansas Razorback, Caden Wallace.
And he's the guy who's up there for my pick. If we are tied with 2 outs in the bottom of the 9th, 7-7, Caden Wallace already had a double a few innings back. He struck out in the 7th, doubled in the 6th, but he has an opportunity to send the Braves packing with a victory and have the Harbor Hawks headed back to Hyannis with yet another loss on their record.
First pitch, and Colby. Check swing, they peel down to first, and yes, Colby, Caden, pardon me, did go around. 0-1 to Caden Wallace after he offered that breaking ball that was called a ball by the home plate umpire. But Caden offered a little too far. He calls time, and that grant is requested. To set the scene here, Knapczyk at second, Tanner Schobel at first, Caden Wallace at the plate, with a base hit, likely winning it for the Bravos tonight. 0-1. Swing and a miss. Nice breaking ball from Luke Mann.
It was hanging out there. It was there.
It was there.
Just couldn't connect.
Everyone on the edge of their seats here at Doran Park. At the very least, though, the Braves will at least gain a point in the standings after coming back here tonight, thanks to the help of Mitchell Hardigan, who dropped that fly ball in the left. 3 errors for Hyannis. They committed 3 a night ago. And Wallace calls time again. Trying to keep it at his own tempo here, as with the runner at second, Mann and Pendleton trying to get on the same page with a big pitch upcoming. Man ready, 0-2. Wallace with a line drive into right field. That chases Elliott back. It's over his head. Born again are these Braves, and the storybook season continues as Caden Wallace walks it off.
And they go and swarm him. There goes the bullpen as well. The Braves leave with a victory. They make it entertaining as always. Caden Wallace is the man of the hour. And the Braves improve to 14 wins. We were fine with the draw. We'll take the win.
What an incredible finish here at Doran Park tonight, as the Braves take an incredible game where they fought back all night long. And Daniel, they did it again in the bottom of the ninth. Wow. Whew. That's all I have to say.
My heart's racing.
Caden Wallace plays hero once again.
What an incredible, incredible hit by Caden Wallace, and the perseverance to come back, especially after only one bottom of the 6th where they put up 5. The Harbor Hawks responded and responded and responded, and they took advantage of a Hardigan left field error. Caden Wallace is the hero today.
Caden Wallace with an RBI double that scores Christian Knapczyk. And the Braves walk it off in the bottom of the 9th inning. I'm pretty much speechless because that's by far the best game, the most compelling game, the most entertaining game all year. After a 5-run comeback to take a 6-5 lead in the bottom of the 6th inning, Hyannis scores 2 unexpectedly with 2 down off Xavier Lovett in the top of the 7th. The Braves had an opportunity an inning later and were unable to capitalize. Caden Wallace struck out with runners on the corners, and then Caden Wallace gets another opportunity with 2 strikes down, 0-2 in the count, and he doesn't miss his chance.
No, he doesn't. He has been incredible at the plate, and he proves it again and again. He proved it in the bottom of the 9th tonight. That 14-win mark and a 3-game sweep of the Hyannis Harbor Hawks is massive, not just for cushioning ourselves in this Western Division, but also just as far as momentum moving to YD on Friday and moving into the off day tomorrow.
Well, the Braves have an off day tomorrow. They face the YD Red Sox on Friday at Red Wilson Field. Don't miss our audio-only call then. Saturday we're at Wareham at Spillane, and then back home right here at Dorn Park on Sunday versus the Cotuit Kettleers. What an incredible night it was here. A game full of back and forth when each team just thought they had won it, and the other team came fighting back, and the team that fought back last was the Bourne Braves, thanks to Caden Wallace's RBI double. We can't forget, though, Colby Thomas with that ball that was lifted deep into left, obviously off of the glove of Mitchell Hardigan. Knapczyk delivered with the RBI single to tie it, and then with 2 down with runners on first and second, Caden Wallace with the big hit. The Arkansas Razorback, what can you say, Daniel, about the job that he has done?
He's come in. You know, he wasn't there at the beginning with that full roster in Game 1 against these Harbor Hawks, but he has taken over. And I said when Reggie Crawford left to go to play Team USA, there needs to be a guy that's going to step in. I thought it was going to be a mixture of Max Anderson and Caden Wallace, which it has been, but Caden Wallace has just been proving that he is a premier college baseball player, and he is here to stay. Keep his name on the lookout. He's going to be a huge player and continue to be a big player if the trend says so, moving forward with the Bourne Braves.
Well, for Hyannis, they have now dropped their 10th in a row and go to 2-17 on the season. The Braves, though, they pick up their 14th win now, 14-2-3. We're off tomorrow before we play YD on Friday, but for Daniel Coates, for Megan Heyer, our entire production team, My name is Reeves Jackson saying wonderfully good night after the Braves walk it off and win it 8-7 here tonight at Doran Park.